The next round is called Between the Lines and features Hugh and Frankie. Would you make your way to the press pit, please? Frankie delivers a speech in the guise of a leading figure on the world stage, while Hugh translates what they really mean. Frankie, this week, you are leader of the opposition, David Cameron, addressing the nation.
Let me assure you, I understand the pain of the people of Tewkesbury.
We're both up to our necks in shit.
This summer, I have put the Tory party back where they belong.
Third in 2 by-elections.
I have been criticised recently for my poor performances.
I told the wife it's the stress of the job.
I'm not worried about the polls.
They're doing a lovely job in my kitchen.
Boris Johnson will make a great mayor. He has a lot in common with London's first mayor.
He's a dick.
I have taken steps to ensure that I will be the next Prime Minister of this great country.
Dear Jimmy. Could you fix it for me?
Ladies over here, Frankie! The first subject is travel. Who wants to come in on that? Harry.
I do a lot of travel. I actually do a lot of flying. I had to fly over here because I live on an island. I flew with Icelandair, and I used to work for Icelandair as a flight attendant. It's actually quite common to only have, like, men serving the food and only women flying the planes. And this is the 21st century, after all. But a lot of the passengers are, like, elderly men from the 20th century. And it was so much fun to be on those flights with the trolley, because you get to see the elderly male passenger reaction to 2 men with food, which was usually like... Look, Gunnar, the captain himself is bringing coffee for us. Hang on, who is flying the plane? And then a woman would do the announcement, politely, professionally, like, ding. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sigríður Einarsdóttir. I'm your captain today. We'll be flying to London Heathrow in approximately 3... And these old men would be like, it's a woman, it's a woman, it's a woman, it's a woman. It was like a musical number starting, it's a woman, it's a woman, it's a woman. How could this happen? And they would, like, ask, like, excuse me, is it really a woman flying the plane? And it annoyed me so much that I always said, yes. And she's having her period. You have a problem with that, old man? And they would ask, like, is that allowed? Of course it's allowed. What's wrong with you? It's ridiculous. In fact, I trust a woman way better to fly a plane than a man. They seem to take it more seriously. I can understand everything they say during the announcement. I never understand the male pilots at Icelandair. They all sound the same. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Captain the first, but my spirit's a little bit of a delay because hope you enjoy the service. And when it's finally over, people are like, what? What did he say? Like, it must be awful if you're afraid of flying. But if you are afraid of flying, you should never fly with our other airline in Iceland, because it's called WOW! But it's not a very reassuring name for an airline. Wow, it's like they don't even know how they got up there in the first place. Wow! How did we do that? An airline called WOW, that's like having a bank that's called FUCK! Put your money here!
The first subject is politics. Oh, Nish.
So, we're living through a real period of political instability, both here and in America. And in the last couple of months, some unlikely saviours have emerged. Tony Blair is considering a return to frontline politics, and Chelsea Clinton is contemplating a run for the Senate in 2020. And to those people, let me just say this. Maybe just leave it. If you want to turn your public opinion around, the way to do it is philanthropy, right? And let's look at someone who has turned their public opinion around through philanthropy. Look at Bill Gates, right? Bill Gates, for the last 15 years, with his wife Melinda, has spent all his time trying to fight the spread of infectious disease. I don't understand the science behind what's going on. From what I can tell, Bill Gates is trying to bribe AIDS to fuck off, right? And we like him for that. But in the 90s, we hated Bill Gates because of the paperclip. Basically, there was a paperclip, and you turn on Word and the paperclip would appear, and it would ask you if you're writing a letter, but you weren't writing a letter. So you're like, I hate you, Bill Gates! I'm gonna buy a Mac forever! And there are people genuinely putting their money where their mouth is in regards to philanthropy. Look at J.K. Rowling. We all need to be very nice to J.K. Rowling from now on, because she may be about to be all we've got economically. We have no manufacturing sector. Our service industry has been driven by mass migration from the EU. After Brexit, our entire economy may depend on the adventures of a fake wizard that technically ended in 2007, right? We got the play, we got the films, we got the film tour. Can we do a play tour? JK, please write another book. Wales is sinking. Maybe something about Harry trying to get his finances in order in his 30s, like Harry Potter and the Mystery of the Fixed Rate ISA.
Thank you very much, Rich. Okay, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first topic is sport. Can somebody talk about that? Andy.
Not quite sure what sport that is supposed to represent. They're saying, aren't they, you know, basically, we need to spend millions of pounds on this massive Olympic stadium. What are the sports we're world class at? Pool and darts. We don't need a massive stadium. We need a gigantic Weatherspoons and hold an Olympic quiz night, ladies and gentlemen. You may also have seen, right, Almunia, the Arsenal goalkeeper, he apparently has got ghosts in his Hertfordshire mansion, which he's shit scared of. Now, given that you're a goalkeeper, being frightened of white things that fly through the air, all you've got to do to frighten Almunia is just go up behind him during a corner and just go...
Hey, Michael, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And it's telecommunications.
From the past. What can I say? Well, yes, phone calls, of course, you phone people who you know. This is the idea. You phone people because you need to phone them, but sometimes you speak to people who you don't know, and you will have the wrong number conversation, something we all enjoy maybe 2 or 3 times a year. One of you thinks it's the right number. So you're phoning somebody who you think you know, because you don't dial numbers at random. This isn't how the system works. You don't just pick up the phone and dial the digits and go, oh, I hope it's Dave. That's not how it works, OK? It isn't Dave. I'll try again. That's not how it works. What happens is that you dial the number. Say, for example, you're calling Sue. You might have spoken to Sue earlier in the day. It might be one of those, I'll call you right back, Sue, and then the number rings, it gets picked up, hello! But you still go, Sue? Even though you're 99.9% sure that can't be Sue, you think, Sue's the only name I have. I'm going to run with Sue on this. On the off chance they go, it is Sue. Something terrible has happened to me since you called me. Thank God you phoned.
This round is called Prime Minister's Questions. For the purpose of this game, I'll be the Speaker of the House of Commons. Rory, you're going to take on the role of Tony Blair. David and Joe, you're his Labour front bench colleagues. Hugh, you'll be a Conservative leader with your front bench, which is, of course, Frankie and John. You'll be taking a small story but treating it as if it's the heavyweight issue of the week. To start, I'd like to ask the Prime Minister for the government's reaction to the news that farmers have launched a campaign to get the term couch potato removed from the Oxford English Dictionary. They say the phrase makes the vegetable seem unhealthy and is bad for its image. Prime Minister?
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, the House will wish to be informed of the campaign by the British Potato Council to have the words couch potato...
I say potato.
You may say potato, but we say potato.
Well, you know... in which case, let's call the whole thing off.
Thank you. Can I congratulate the Prime Minister on his treatment of the word couch potato? My colleagues and I believe that the phrase couch potato, along with others such as sofa turnip and armchair carrot, are nothing less than an incitement to vegetable hatred.
Well, I think, you know, I would accept those comments, but I would also, if I might, point out that the removal of words from the dictionary is actually not a new phenomenon. I myself have removed the word socialism. The words trade union have also been removed, and last time I looked in the dictionary to find the words weapons of mass destruction, I couldn't find them.
Aren't there other words that it would be better for farmers to take out of the dictionary? Words such as over-subsidised and sheep-shaggers.
And talking of over-subsidised, what is the government going to do about the enormous number of French fries which may appear in this country, along with Swedes and sprouts from Brussels?
We actually believe that genetically modified crops are the way forward for the potato. We say, new Labour, new potatoes.
We agree. We believe it would be a very good idea to combine the genes of a King Edward with that of a Premiership footballer to get a potato that roasts itself. Along with a bean combined with the genes of a suicide bomber to produce a runner bean that tops and tails itself.
The party opposite can trade potato puns as long as they like, but when the chips are down, we won the election and they lost.
Can I suggest you are simply being pea-brained?
I take it you're an expert in the field?
I certainly have ploughed that particular furrow yet.
You see, I mean, this is... Yeah, oh, yeah. Huh?
I can't think that you've gone to seed.
No. All right. You know, I tell you, I look at the party opposite, and what do I see? I see 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4.
What will the party opposite do about the disputed territory of Kashmir?
We will launch a Spud missile.
These ideas are half-baked.
That's enough. And the winner of that round is Hugh. $25 in a row. What is the question?
How many green bottles are standing on Charles Kennedy's windowsill?
Is it you've just been picked up whilst hitchhiking? What's the last thing you want to hear the truck driver chuckle as he nods towards the 24 empty rucksacks in the back?
Is it how many times does Dara O'Brien crack one off on Blue Peter?
It was unfair to draw her into a political battle. I was going to have a session with the woman or something.
Can a man not form an unnatural attachment to someone they've never met on the television without it resorting to masturbation jokes? He's just made a little shrine.
I've not made any little shrine. And can I point out, stop writing Dara fancies Connie on a piece of paper. I think she's twice been unfairly dragged into political discussions that are not of her doing, and that's what I'm defending here.
Is it for how many years has the UK finished bottom of the Eurovision Song Contest?
Is it how many times has...
We won it in 1997, happen to know.
Did we?
So, that shoots you down, my friend.
Would you like to sing us that song, David?
Well, I would, but unfortunately a court order says I mustn't.
It was Katrina and the Waves, actually.
Is it how many times does Victoria Beckham throw up during lunch?
Is it how many letters are there after A?
Is it Cliff Richard has had 25 top 10 hits? How many were shit?
Is it how many researchers from GMTV won phoning competitions last year?
They're just very good on those questions. I'm going to steer you towards the correct answer. It is an education issue.
Is it to do with GCSEs?
It is to do... No, actually, no, it's to do with A-levels, actually.
OK. The results are getting better every year, and they have been for the past 25 years.
That's exactly right. Well done, Ross. And the topic is history.
Some things in history are good, some things are bad, some things are good, and then they get bad, like my great-great-great-uncle was bored in the trenches during the war, so he invented the high-vis jacket. That was the last thing he did. People don't really understand evolution, do they? I was talking to an Australian the other day, and he thought that he came from Darwin. Recently, I wrote a book called All the Things I've Ever Done in My Entire Life, and I don't want to spoil it, but in the end, I write a book. So what's got two eyes and smokes? Pompeii. Too soon? My grandfather, he can't do what he used to, you know, bomb the Japanese. And it turns out you can't actually keep an artefact that you find with a metal detector if it's already in the British Museum.
Thank you very much. Do that round. The point goes to Gabor. We start with a round called Headliners. Here's a picture of American presidential candidate Barack Obama meeting Gordon Brown this week. But what does BOTE stand for?
Is it Brown overdoes the ecstasy?
Is it Brown orders tango enema?
I think
you know when you've had a tango enema.
I think it is probably Britain's oddest twins exposed.
Is it Brown impersonates cricket umpires?
Yeah.
Not taking the game seriously. Take the game seriously,
It's very difficult to get all the letters right.
You're not getting the rules of this at all, are you?
It's very hard to get the letters according to the words.
That's why it's a quiz!
Is Gordon Brown watching Bill Oddie's tit extravaganza?
To be honest, that is a TV show that needs to be made.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Is it Brown's old Todger explodes?
If it is, it's a shame that they didn't get that in the picture. Yeah.
Right, Mike.
I've got one that fits, I think.
Do the letters match the words you're going to say?
Is it? I thought today we could have actually had Carol Vorderman reveal the letters. She needs the work. Is it Brown orders tree explosion?
Tree explosion?
I think there's very little we can do to help you.
Is it Barack Obama tours Europe?
Yes, it is.
Very good.
The answer The answer I was looking for is Barack Obama tours Europe. This refers to the presidential candidate's recent whistle-stop tour. After visiting Berlin and Paris, he ended his trip in Britain, where he met Gordon Brown, David Cameron and Tony Blair.
There's something of the Messiah about Obama, though. Do you know what I mean? You sort of look at him and you imagine him walking into a room. It's just, just flowers appearing and rainbows and people leaping out of wheelchairs and women going, I'm pregnant through his eyes. And you imagine Gordon Brown walking into a room and all you can see is a dog vomiting. That's it.
There's this thing, isn't there? There's a big fuss because Barack Obama got, what was it, 200,000 people in Berlin? Let's not forget that the last time 200,000 people gathered in Berlin, it was to listen to the most evil man in the world, David Hasselhoff.
This is what worries me about Barack Obama, though. Well, you know, he might well be elected. We don't know. He might be elected in November. He'd never be elected here because his slogan, his campaign slogan, is "Yes, we can," which is the slogan of Bob the Builder. That is quite ridiculous.
Do you know that Gordon Brown gave gave him presents? Obama came, and Gordon Brown gave him 2 books on Winston Churchill and 2 silver picture frames, which immediately stinks of I forgot to buy him a present, wrap shit from the house. And then to give him 2 books on Winston Churchill, if you're getting somebody a book, you need, you know, in case they don't like the book, throw in some variety. It's just classic Gordon Brown. I'll get him a book on Winston Churchill, and if he doesn't like that, I think we'll go for another one on Winston Churchill. You know, what's for dinner? Pasta, but if you don't like that, I can easily whip up some pasta. The man's a complete idiot.
Do you know what he got in return?
Well, nothing, because Obama left them on the plane,
Obama
unbought at duty-free.
Yeah,
Exactly.
unless he came in and said, this, in this suspiciously triangular box, is a gift I bought you. Yeah, it's a Toblerone. But you see... I got you.
The thing we've got to remember about Obama, right, is he doesn't just appeal to black voters because they think that he's going to change society. He also appeals to American white voters who think that he's Tiger Woods.
I mean, let's face it, who is he actually going to be up against? He's going to be up against Senator John McCain, right? A man who came second to George W. Bush for the Republican nomination in the year 2000. What the hell have the Republicans been playing at? The best person they can find is somebody who wasn't quite as good as George W. Bush 8 bloody years ago.
Do you know McCain's slogan isn't too good either, actually?
Is it no, we can't?
No, his slogan is these oven chips contain 35% less fat. Which isn't...
We start with a round call. If this is the answer, what is the question? On the board of 6 categories. Chris, which category would you like?
Sport, please.
OK, the category is sport. The answer is 736. What is the question?
Is it Tom Daly's bedtime?
On which page of your home insurance does it say that they never pay out for anything ever?
Is it how many hours in a row has Claire Balding now been awake for?
Is it the only item at his local takeaway that Eamon Holmes hasn't ordered? And that is spring water.
Yeah.
Is it how many people have seen Keith Lemon the movie?
Generous.
Is it if you saw Pythagoras in concert, name one of the old numbers he might try and do?
Is it how many Cocoa Pops does Rain Man have for breakfast? 736 Cocoa Pops. 736 Cocoa Pops.
Is it the number of Americans aware of the Paralympics?
Is it what would Emil Heskey's squad number be at Barcelona?
Is it how many energy-saving light bulbs do you have to turn on before you can change an ordinary one?
Is it how many calories does the average man burn off while having a proper think about Jessica Ennis?
That's a new phrase, a proper think.
There's nothing worse than when you get caught by your parents having a proper think, is there?
I thought you were studying for your exams, and no, he was having a proper think.
It makes put a new complexion on, go to your room and think about what you've done.
It's going to bring towards the correct answer if you can.
When reading the letters page of the Daily Mail, what year does it feel like it is?
Is it the amount of athletes that took part in the parade this week?
Absolutely right. Thank you very, very much. Well done. Yes, the question I was looking for is how many Team GB athletes took part in the Olympic and Paralympic victory parade in London on Monday. According to the British Olympic Association, 736 athletes celebrated their record-breaking medal haul in front of over 1 million spectators. The victory parade was made up of 21 floats and featured a flypast by the Red Arrows. Did you watch?
What else can the Red Arrows do if they don't fly past?
Presumably walk past in formation.
Everybody loves the Red Arrows, don't they? Everybody really loves the Red Arrows. You think how much better people would feel about our unwanted intervention in other countries if we bombed them using the Red Arrows.
I went to the Paralympics. It was very exciting. It was quite complicated. You get used to, because I didn't know anything about it. And the first race I watched was the, because you know they had those grades, and so I watched the S6 swimming. And I was like, they said it, I was like, the Essex swimming? I mean, I know that's frowned upon to be from Essex, but that is not a disability. She's slightly slower because her vajazzle will hatch in the water.
It's the pool just looking like a weak gravy off all the false...
Our next round is called Headliners. Here's a picture of Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, but what does ACIP stand for?
Is it Abdul's Carpets, Irresistible Prices?
Is it another celebrity introduces perfume?
What would be... sorry, stench of desert?
Stench of atomic cloud.
Has he forgotten that he comes from an Islamic country and he's going, Happy Christmas, I'm pissed.
Is it a Columbo impersonator performs? Am I torturing you? I'm sorry. Am I torturing you? I'm sorry. This is just going to take 5 fingers. I'm sorry.
Mrs. Columbo loved your bombing.
Mrs. Columbo actually voted for you.
Is it aliens capture Iranian president and he's there going, phone home?
I'll give you a clue. The A doesn't stand for Ahmadinejad.
Alan Carr is priceless?
Nor does it stand for Alan. It stands for Ayatollah.
Ayatollah.
Aladdin.
Ayatollah confirms Iranian president.
Very good. Well done, Hugh. Thank you very much. Yes, the answer I was looking for was Ayatollah confirms Iranian president. This is the story that Ayatollah Khamenei has finally declared Mahmoud Ahmadinejad the winner of June's Iranian presidential elections, despite ongoing protests.
But what was incredible about it, so basically they were accused of stealing the election and then people protested, and then Ahmadinejad said, you know who's to blame, don't you? Britain. And we all went, eh? We're watching Wimbledon, mate. I've got no idea. We're watching a hairy Scottish man do very well.
Savvy was his opponent, wasn't he? And after the election, he had his supporters come out and marched, and then Ahmadinejad's supporters came out and did a counter-march, and then there was another march, and it was basically, if only we had some way of telling who had the most supporters, like maybe some sort of election or something. Don't we need to get perspective here? OK, they arrest protesters. We arrested protesters after G20.
Yep.
They killed a protester. We killed a guy who wasn't even protesting. They've got Sharia law that isn't very nice to women. We've got Jude law.
How did you come to the attention of a lot of people over here?
Twitter.
They use Twitter.
It was a beautiful story about that when Ahmadinejad.
It's not a name that you can't pronounce, but it's a name that you have to think about just before you pronounce.
Yes.
He probably thinks that everybody's just incredibly dramatic. Hello, President Ahmadinejad. Why is everybody so arch in Iran? I don't know, President
It's funny, but
Ahmadinejad.
was amazing about the Twitter story was that because they're so scared of protesting, that the way they were going to protest when Ahmadinejad was going to be on TV, they were going to put on every household appliance so that they could try and cause a blackout to get him off telly. Isn't that beautiful? He's on, put on the kettle, plug in the Hoover.
You're there sat there with your Tetleys going, I'm part of a revolution.
All Twitter was all obviously on one side until Ahmadinejad himself went on Twitter and he tweeted, hey everybody, some crazy stories about the election. Basavi got pwned. Mega lols. And all these are bad. Like, this is the endorsement. For God, I'm sorry. This is a sense of scale. This is a country that aspires towards nuclear weaponry. This is their presidential endorsement. That's a raffle at a school hall, right?
I actually played that club, and it's very distracting with those three guys behind it.
He also doesn't seem to have any feet. Where have his feet gone?
Unlikely personal ads.
I could be the man of your dreams. If you dream of a man who exposes himself to people on trains.
I'm a cat person. I sleep all day and I bury my poo in the garden.
For sex with no strings attached, don't shag a puppet.
Katie Price seeks new husband. Position temporary. Usual terms and conditions apply.
Looking for love in all the wrong places? Well, you wanted to be a priest.
Ugly fat bloke. Looking for a supermodel with a sense of humour.
Man prone to violent mood swings seeks lovely woman to go screw yourself. I love you!
Female, 22, 33, 52. One of them's my age. Are you feeling lucky, punk?
Agoraphobic, seeks claustrophobic, for doorstep encounters.
I am Ponus of the planet Testiclon 8. I seek a human female to take my seed. Make better world for both our planets. Dave, Croydon, box 414.
Pessimistic man seeks depressed old lady so as we can have some really shit times together.
Gorgeous, 5'11", black woman, amazing body, great rack. I just thought I'd put it out there.
I'm a George Clooney lookalike who's looking for a woman with visual impairment.
Do you like swinging? Meet me down by the swings.
I'm looking for a dominant woman. Tell me to call you.
Do you like dogs? Good, because I'm small, hairy, and hung like a border terrier.
Sophisticated, erudite man with fin de siècle tastes. Seeks woman with massive norks.
Man with massive cock. Seeks woman with large hen to discuss poultry farms.
At the end of that round, the points go to Ed, Ava and Andy. Now we play a round called Boris Johnson and his Chamber of Secrets. This game involves Tom Allen and Milton Jones. If you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is school. Who's coming on that? Tom.
Hello. I went to quite a rough school. I know. Isn't it moving? And it was a sort of school where people would come up to you and say things like, "Hey, you, do you want to fight, do you? Do you want to fight?" Is that why I look at me like that? Yeah, you want to fight? Yes, I want to fight. Do you want to fight? And I'd always say, "Oh, no, thank you. But thanks for thinking of me." Those girls could be so cruel. And at my school, to avoid getting picked on, everyone had the same of everything. So everyone had, like, the same pencil case. It was a pencil case that was made to look like a packet of Walker's Crisps. And in it, everyone had the same Oxford math set, which was like a tin pencil case, which contained a ruler, maybe a foldable ruler for travel. A foldable ruler, which was great for underlining things, wasn't it? Until you got to the middle. Big bump in the middle. And a set square, which wasn't a square, was it? It was a triangle. And a compass. Oh, I'm glad I learned how to use a compass. Not a day goes by. It's a perfect circle. It's got a hole in the middle, but it's a perfect circle. And, like, when do you even get to use that math set? I mean, occasionally you'll get to do proper grown-up maths, or math as they call it in America, don't they? But we do it more than once. When you get to do things like trigonometry and SOHCAHTOA. Do you remember that? SOHCAHTOA, SOHCAHTOA. Do you remember that? SOHCAHTOA. That's a thing. SOHCAHTOA. Sine equals opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse. I mean, now, as an adult looking back, it would have been nice, wouldn't it, if they spent maybe half an hour, or even just like 10 minutes, just 10 minutes going, "This is a pension scheme." This is how you fill in a tax return. This is how you mend a broken heart. This is how you tell an estate agent to fuck off.
Thank you very much, Tom. OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is shopping.
Those reward cards are rubbish, aren't they? I've got too many points on one of them, and now I'm not allowed to drive. It's really important if you buy something, of course, to read all the instructions. I don't know if you've ever tried to fill a baboon with helium. Prit is not the best lip salve I've ever used. I couldn't complain. Southern Comfort tastes nice. Ordinary Comfort tastes like fabric softener. But at least your burps smell of summer meadows. When I was in America, I really got into the culture, so I went into a shop and the guy said, "Have a nice day," and I didn't, so I sued him.
And it's food.
Oh, OK. Oh, very similar topics. I once went to a buffet in Reading, and that's not even the joke. It was organised by a woman called Wendy, and it was so beige. It was so bland. It was like a buffet representation of Reading. I looked across this buffet, right? They put out sausage rolls, right? Sausage rolls, right? Where they just whipped off the cellophane and put the corrugated plastic straight down on the table. Like we were dogs! Then we had Scotch eggs, right? Scotch eggs cut into quarters. Apparently no one can eat a whole one. Then we had breadsticks displayed in a pint glass. I thought I was at a fucking UKIP rally.
Then she starts putting down cold pizza slices next to wontons. No one's mixed Italian and Chinese cuisine like that since Marco Polo. Then she brought out the quadrant of dips. You know, the 4 dips. The 4 dips of the apocalypse. The white one, the other white one. Then there's a green one, what's that? Guacamole. Then there's a pink one, what's that made of? Sillet bang? I was just glad to have something made of some sort of colour. Anyway, it was a terrible buffet, but thank you very much, Wendy.
The topic is communication.
Not a good day today. No one turned up to the first meeting of my sarcasm club, despite loads of people saying how much they were looking forward to it. Do you ever do that thing when you're on the phone?
You put it down.
No, you put it down.
No, you put it down.
Listen, you're a qualified vet and it's an old dog. Do you know, it was so cold the other day in the city of Chester, when I ordered a taxi, I ended up in Chichester. The only bright point of the journey was seeing a car going the other way with a seatbelt round a kebab. My wife and I, we argue sometimes.
You've left the lid up, you've left the lid up.
Yes, but what if it's a man, the next person to use the toilet?
It's a pedal bin, it's a pedal bin.
It was her birthday recently. I took her to an orchard in Somerset. We stood for about 20 minutes. Not the Apple Watch she wanted.
Thank you very much. Look, the topic is exercise.
Also a picture of me. I'm not very good at exercise. I joined the gym. I joined Virgin Active because there wasn't a Virgin Passive. And I found the whole process very intimidating. Like, when you go in there, you're confronted with all the cardio area, like the cardio area. They call it cardio because that's where you go to have a heart attack. And then at the other end, they have what they call the free weights section, the free weights, which I have no business being in because it's for the bigger boys. The bigger boys go there all day. They're lifting things all day, trying to get big arms, trying to turn their arms into legs. And I think it all really started at school. Like, I didn't like doing PE at school. What would happen is, after assembly, one class would have to stay behind in the hall because they'd be doing gym. And I never found out who Jim was. The worst bit was if you had to use the apparatus. And the apparatus basically was this huge, terrifying cage which had to be buckled to the wall. It was so terrifying. And older children would have to come in who'd been trained by the army. And they'd come in and they'd untether its bonds, and they'd pull a lever and it would lurch out and it would swing out, and these huge, terrifying arms have to be buckled to the floor, otherwise it would just swing out and kill everybody. And it had all these bars and ropes and chains. It was very much like a weekend I recently spent in Berlin.
Thank you very much. And the topic is parenthood. Away you go, Milton.
I went back to my parents' house the other day, looked into my neighbour's garden where I used to steal apples as a toddler. They didn't mind me stealing apples. It was dressing up as a toddler they thought was weird. I come from a family of auctioneers. There's my mum, my dad, my Uncle Philip, Auntie Eileen, my dying grandfather, going. I said to my dad, I keep making mistakes. He said, you're talking to the wrong person. I said, oh, no, not again. He said, well, it wasn't as bad as that Uber driver I had the other day. He fell asleep. So Calvin Klein's mum has labelled everyone else's pants. When my daughter was born, she had jaundice, so there she was, small, round, and yellow. We called her Melanie. Apparently, I didn't even turn up to one of my own children's christenings, according to one of them, who shall remain nameless.
As travel.
Travel, okay, fine. Well, I travelled from over there. Hello. One of my favourite travel experiences was at secondary school when we went on the school music trip to France. And to get on the school music trip to France, you had to be part of the choir. I was in the choir, and it basically meant you got to hang out with all the other 13-year-old homosexuals who didn't yet realise they were homosexuals and their chatty female friends. And it was a great place to go and learn how to play a show tune on the flute. Not a euphemism. And this was back in the day when it didn't matter where you were going with the school. If you went on any school trip, you had to go by coach. Like, if you go to Australia, you go by coach. This was supposed to be a 5-day trip to France. We spent 2 days on the coach getting there and 2 days getting back. It was basically a day in France. So, on this trip, you really had to make the best of the coach trip. And for me, my favourite bit was when we got to stop off at the French hypermarket. So I thought that would be a great place for me to show off how much better I am than everybody else, because I'd actually been paying attention in French. So I went over to the patisserie and I said to the man there, "Bonjour, je voudrais un croissant, s'il vous plaît." And according to the French classes, the man behind the counter should have responded by saying, "Oui." Il y a un croissant ici, which, when you think about it, is basically the equivalent of someone coming over here and saying, "Hello, I'd like to buy a pasty, please." And then the man behind the counter responding by saying, "Yes!" There is a pasty here. I'm not even mentioning that it's part of a meal deal. So I said, "Bonjour, je voudrais un croissant, s'il vous plaît." And then the man behind the counter responded in normal French by going, blah, 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 blah. I had no idea what he was saying. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, my friend Kevin was no help. The only French he spoke was the French horn, which is a euphemism. I mean, I say they teach us how to speak French. Most of the time, they teach us how to sing it. I mean, I could have stood there and gone, "Quelle est la date de ton anniversaire?" But the idea of a 13-year-old English homosexual standing in the middle of a French hypermarket going, "What is the date of your birthday? What is the date of your birthday?" Couldn't be any more absurd. So I just responded by saying, "Oui, oui, d'accord, d'accord." Ended up with 8 kilograms of ham.
Thank you very, very much. Points there to Tom. Why did one of Corbyn's shadow cabinet appointments upset farmers?
Oh, it's his farming minister is a vegan. She's the only politician less welcome on a farm than David Cameron.
The good thing about having a vegan agriculture minister is they will not talk bullshit. They talk organic mulch.
She wants to treat meat eaters the same as smokers, doesn't she? And you're thinking, well, you know, certainly if you go into Pizza Hut and order the meat feast, you'll think twice about that, wouldn't you, if you have to eat it outside?
I don't know. If people gathered outside offices to just eat meat, I think that would become enormously popular.
Just do the pepperami like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Bloody hell, it didn't used to be like this, did it?
Sitting under one of those heat lamps, it's slowly cooking.
You can imagine meat eaters going away to European holidays just to come back to be like, "It was amazing, you can still eat meat inside over there."
But then the NHS could help with, like, wean you off with, like, a meat patch. Or you could just chew an OXO cube if you were getting, like, pangs.
Could you put an OXO tube into an e-cigarette and, like, and vape it? Would that... Would that perform the same thing? Oh, beefy. Oh, I really need
Sorry,
that.
it just sounded like you're having sex with Ian Botham then.
Tell him again about those long walks, beefy.
I think she's got a point, though. I think meat is quite similar to smoking. I think, you know, a lot of people after sex, they like to have a cigarette. And I like to, after sex, just have a quick spit roast.
OK, who also had a party conference this week?
I believe it was UKIP.
It was, of course, UKIP. Yes, they did, actually, yeah. Nigel Farage, big fan of the show. How are you, Nigel? Good to the...
The thing about it was that they didn't have enough people, did they, at UKIP? They had to slash the ticket prices because nobody was turning up. I mean, they keep on telling us the country is full, but they can't even fill their own conference hall, can they?
It was at Doncaster Racecourse, which is weird, given the trouble they've had with the first past the post system. Why was it?
Why are these people paying to go and watch the UKIP conference? Do you know what I mean, if you want to watch, like, boring old men in shit clothes talk about hating foreigners, Top Gear's on Amazon soon.
Yes, and the question I was looking for is how long was Major Tim Peake on the International Space Station before he returned to Earth this week? Yes, there he is in a deck chair, not doing a tap.
But the only reason he come back was because the Russian bloke on the space station stuck up behind him in it on the end of a bar stool.
I watched the news report about it, but I'm hard of hearing, so I used the subtitles, and it genuinely said that he was up in space for 6 months without gravy, and it took me ages to realise they meant gravity. To be fair, he was without both, and I couldn't do it, you know.
I mean, there's that anti-gravy machine they have. Sorry,
I just realised there's a fucking box under my... No wonder I've got no space. Look at this.
What is it?
Just found that. The old shark guy, it's a bit tight down here, isn't it?
What artefacts have you discovered?
I don't know. And I've dropped my drink. This is an absolute nightmare. I've done the carpet, I'm afraid.
He set a lot of records while he was in space, didn't he, Tim Peake?
He did.
But it was kind of like, once he got into space, that was the hard part, and then just everything he did, he was the first person to do it in space. It was just like, he was the first person to get on the New Year's Honours List in space. He was the first person to do a marathon in space. It's just, once you get into space, that's you. It's like, if I got into space, I could set records for first man to clean his glasses on his underpants. In space, you know.
He did run a marathon up there, didn't he? And I thought I'd run a marathon if I had an option to float bits of it.
Just set the treadmill on really fast. I'll just hover above it.
I haven't hit the wall yet. When's the wall coming?
This is so difficult. I've done 4 miles already.
I did the marathon. He didn't do any football because they wouldn't have got past the coin toss.
What did he do up there?
He did experiments up there.
He basically did media. Oh, he didn't have the time to do experiments.
Media. He did 6 months of experiments.
What experiments did he do?
250 different experiments of different things in zero gravity, yeah.
Robbie is a decent guy.
Don't you think the Americans are watching it, though? I mean, it's incredibly, you know, we're excited, but the Americans must be watching it going, you are literally 40 years behind us.
There were Americans as well, you know, on this. That's all the Americans are doing as well.
Are you going to shut down every comical notion we bring to you?
Yes,
yes, but he was in space, so leave him alone.
Respect the spaceman.
I love science, and everything's OK because it's science. I said about astronauts. Just because he's gone up there and done experiments, I don't know exactly what they are, I've just been told.
You think he's bluffing that? That actually...
He's on a blank, mate. He's been up there.
The slightly sad thing about it, he's the first British astronaut, but he is representing the European Space Agency, isn't it? So if there is Brexit, the next British astronaut is going to be in a hot air balloon on a very long...
I think he deserves all the honours he's getting, because it is a dangerous mission to get that much closer to the sun when you're that ginger.
It was sort of ridiculous that when the guy from the European Space Agency said, well, you know, how will he feel? He said, well, I think he's going to be a bit shocked by gravity. You think he's got a very short memory, isn't he?
He's been up there 6 months, like, with no atmosphere, so to ease him back in, they've taken him to the new Top Gear studio. Take that, Chris Evans.
The first comment when he came out was that the Earth smelled really strongly of Earth, and everybody sort of shuffled uncomfortably and went, that's just Kazakhstan.
I like the way he said, I'm looking forward to spending some time with my wife and having my first shower for 6 months. Like, other way round, mate. Unless she likes him a bit gamey. So I do it the other way round.
So how do they wash in space?
They get a cloth. They wash
Just
with a
with
cloth.
a cloth?
With a cloth, yeah.
Dirty bastard.
Just there.
So would you like to go in space?
Yeah, no, it's really... I found... Oh, hello. Jesus Christ. What are you with the fucking flies?
Oh, Tim Peake's not here, is he? Smelly bastard Tim Peake's not turned up for this.
We start with a round called Headliners. Here's a picture of Gordon Brown, but what does BLSC stand for?
Is it Brown Lifts See-Through Cucumber?
Is it Bungle loses showbiz costume?
Is it Bonnie Langford sex change?
To be honest, what a world it would be if that's the answer.
More likely to vote for him if he was Bonnie Langford.
Really?
What an extra poster as well. Gordon Brown, because I used to be Bonnie Langford. If you don't vote for me, I'll scream and scream and scream.
Has he just been asked to describe himself and he's gone, balls like swinging coconuts?
Has he just been asked to describe himself and he's gone, bad leader, shocking chancellor?
Yeah.
Having it. We're having it tonight.
Is it Brown levitates scared child?
The one that's just out of shot.
Has it got nothing to do with Gordon Brown? Is it Berlusconi's lover, 17?
We all know you spell with a K.
Yeah. Also, I love the idea that maybe you've just done that and there's a horse at home watching going...
Yeah. Sugar cubes? Sugar cubes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is he screaming, bring laxatives, situation's critical?
Listen, let me move you towards the correct answer.
Is it Brown's leadership style criticised?
Yes, it is. Yes, the answer I was looking for was Brown's leadership style criticised. This is the news that Gordon Brown has come under renewed criticism this week for his style of leadership. He was compared by one Labour MP to a mafia boss. In what way is he possibly like a mafia boss?
Well, we know for one way he's not, is he? Because let's face it, if he said to the public, I'll make you an offer you can't refuse, everybody would still go, no.
Is it a case of mistaken identity where somebody thought they woke up next to a horse's head, but what they'd actually done was just fallen asleep in a cabinet meeting next to Margaret Beckett?
Caroline Flint basically got sacked by Brown and then said that the entire cabinet was really laddish. And you're like, what, Miliband and Alistair Darling? Watch out, we're going to Ayia Napa.
He said that Brown was scary and had an intimidating side. And you think, well, why doesn't he show that? Anyway, why doesn't he intimidate Al-Qaeda? Why doesn't he intimidate David Cameron? Why is it that the personality he chooses to present to the world is of an old woman's cushion that's been left out in the back garden for cats to piss on? Gordon Brown is so devoid of any life that if he was a cartoon character, this is the stage where they'd be drafting in a sidekick. Is anyone else sort of puzzled that Gordon Brown's nephew's in the cabinet and that he's a raccoon?
To be honest, though, Frankie might have hit upon something genius there because...
Really?
Yeah, no, listen. No, because the Labour Party basically need a new frontman. And the raccoon idea is good, but they should go for that little fella out of the Compare the Meerkat advert, because he is possibly the most popular thing in the country.
Yeah, he is. He is,
Imagine
actually.
that. Simple, clicks his head, economy fixed.
Meerkat! Why is he Russian? Why is the meerkat Russian? I've never understood
Why
that.
is he dressed up in a stately home? These are questions.
Never been made clear. You're making the mistake of imagining that we need something popular to defeat Gordon Brown. You know, you don't need a meerkat. Herpes would beat Gordon Brown.
Let's be honest.
No, you mean more as a psychic. I don't think herpes would make a good psychic, though. I'm Gordon Brown, and here's my psychic. You can see it manifest itself on the corner of my mouth.
The ladies have said, haven't they? They said he needs to tone down his dark side.
Yes.
They appear to have confused him with Darth Vader. But maybe they're right. Maybe it's going to turn out, in fact, David Cameron is, in fact, Gordon Brown's son.
Wow, we broke it first. I'd love if that happened. Because Cameron, by the way, Cameron, big fan of the show, by the way. I met Cameron during the week in BBC Radio 2, just in the corridor, and he went, hello, and I went, hello, and he went, oh, yeah, mock the week, very good. That Boyle chap.
What did he mean by that, do you think?
I don't know. We just kind of went, because we both like, I had nothing more to add.
You sure it wasn't just on his hit list to MI5, that Boyle chap? Make it look like an accident.
The answer is £100 a day. What is the question?
Is it according to The Sun, how much does the average beggar make a day?
You're ruining by saying a day when it's already got a day in the answer.
Is it? Let me have another crack at that
the
one.
repetition of a day.
Ed's like
say it without a day and I'll watch.
What's happening?
Well, I was just about
Hang on a
to.
minute. Ed's turned into like the Microsoft paperclip. He's trying to write his letter. You're getting it wrong.
Are you doing a list?
According to The Sun, right, what does a beggar earn?
But we are apparently in the middle of a countryside crime wave. Have you seen this?
If I lived in the country, I'd be delighted if someone did a crime, because I'd be bored out of my mind. Thank God you've turned up with a shotgun to steal my rhubarb. Could you kill me on the way out?
Some bloke sold rhubarb from an allotment. You have to
tag it.
Just
Why don't they tag it?
Imagine the phone call. Just some deranged. They've taken it. It's gone. My prize-winning marrow. Is there no God? You have.
Surely you could just put rhubarb down his sleeves and then go. Like that.
Had I been there, you can't ever feel sorry for the. That's the lowest rung of criminality, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Let me finish. Just. I'm going to kill myself here.
Beautiful. Vintage mock the week. He brought up the subject just so someone else could do a joke on it. Surely he might have been working towards a punchline. You ignorant.
Jesus.
Can we get a higher chair for the joke umpire?
I have a feeling the Microsoft paperclip's taken some cocaine. But... I like it.
That's great. Little animation of the paper go. Good, yeah. That's a really good letter.
The point I was going to make is, surely, right, fellas, but surely, if you're a bank robber, you're sexy, you're dangerous, you can get diamonds for your lover. If you steal from allotments, what hope have you got, you know? You've got dirt underneath your fingernails. All you have to offer is broccoli. You know?
Hey, a woman who's going to have sex for broccoli is going to be dirty.
I was wondering if one of the reasons they were trying to steal...
Wouldn't that be... Hang on, sorry to interrupt you, Andy, but wouldn't that be the...
Frankly, I wish to go on the record and say I have now lost control. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is commercials that never made it to air.
Fungal foot problem.
Have you been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault? Of course you have, because that is the definition of an accident.
FIFA summer sofa sale. Total office clear out. Bribe now, pay later.
Andrex, because who wouldn't want to wipe their ass with a puppy?
Carlsberg don't do your girlfriend, but I have.
What's that? Yeah, mate, I got some bad news about your dad.
Why pay more for ratchet, trifling-ass pilots when you can get to where you're going on EasyJet? A basic bitch will get you there.
We call it a Happy Meal. The cow we killed wasn't too chuffed, though.
Waitrose, 2 for the price of 3.
We had debts all over the place, but Wonga took all those debts and put them in one simple loan. They also took our house. Are your vet's bills getting on top of you? Then why not try Dognatas?
Want to save money on biscuits? Easy. Give blood.
From Laboratoire Garnier, Paris. Because if we said it was from Unit 5 of a Luton industrial estate, you wouldn't buy it, would you?
Struggling to sleep? Why not try 10 cans of Stella?
Did you mistake your girlfriend for a burglar on Valentine's Day? Then you need to go to Specsavers.
I can't breathe! I can't breathe! The Lynx effect.
That one's accent is a bit more racist than that one's accent. There you go. Just compared the meerkats.
OK, the next topic is lines you wouldn't hear in a sci-fi movie.
Hi, is that NHS Direct? Yeah, a bit of a temperature and I've got an alien coming out of my stomach. 2 paracetamol, OK.
OK, Mr. Zulu. Set course for the 4th quadrant to the Orion Nebula. I think there's a Nando's there.
We're sorry to announce that there is a replacement beam down service this weekend between the ship and the planet Splooge.
You've got to imagine this in a Scottish accent. This is our Independence Day. There you go.
They abducted us and took us to their spacecraft, and then they explored our bodies with strange probes. I'll be honest, it was the best stag night I'd ever been on.
This man can now reach the full potential of his brain. Joey, wake up. You can tie your shoes. Reem.
What the people don't know, Captain Kirk, is that when I do that V thing, that means in Vulcan, I've had your mum.
I think this time tunnel is broken. We have gone 1,000 years into the future and Bruce Forsyth is still working.
take the red pill, you will enter the Matrix. If you take the blue pill, you will have a boner for 7 hours.
This is it. The machines are taking over. Hashtag apocalypse.
Yeah, I've had a look at it, mate. The problem is your nano boosters are shot and your warp drive is fucked.
Our planet is dying. We seek a new home. Which of you is Phil and which of you is Kirsty?
The dinosaurs are killing everyone. Why do we keep reopening this park? Who keeps giving us public liability insurance?
So the plan is you get in the time machine, go back in time, and cock-block Hitler's dad.
Phone home. Phone in Joan. No, phone home.
OK, at the end of that, the points go to Matt, Catherine and Andy. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely complaints to TV channels.
Dear Jim will fix it. Why aren't you replying to me letters?
Dear Living TV, stop breathing on me, you're freaking me out.
Dear BBC, I find it extremely offensive that after each scene we'd like to see, the host, Dara O'Brien, appears to emit a loud fart.
Dear BBC, why have you given Andy Parsons that ridiculous wig this week?
Dear BBC, I recently saw something on the Antiques Roadshow I would like to purchase. How much is Fiona Bruce?
Dear Dragon's Den, I have lost my keys, and for that reason, I'm out.
Dear ITV, I just watched Loose Women in High Definition. Please remove this option.
Dear Babe Station, sorry for the scrawl, I'm having to write this with my left hand.
Dear Babe Station, I've watched your channel for 10 hours now and I've yet to see a film about a pig working as a sheepdog. However, I shall persevere.
Dear Channel 5, I have watched Celebrity Big Brother. I think it should be renamed Big Brother.
Dear BBC, why don't you get Irish comedian Ed Byrne to do a documentary about ladies' pants?
Dear Dave, have you seen Phil? Yours, Bob.
Dear Embarrassing Bodies, I'm a man trapped inside a woman's body. I got mixed up between superglue and lube.
Dear Dave Jarvu, have you seen Phil Jarvu? Yours, Bob Jarvu. Dear BBC, where can I get one of those blurred number plates you always see on television?
Dear Embarrassing Bodies, I think there may be something wrong with my penis. I've enclosed it in an envelope. You'll get it.
Dear BBC, why have you changed the name of Snog, Marry, Avoid to Three Men in a Boat?
I was going to the Paralympics and I had one of those lanyards that you have to have because I was working there. And I went for a fry-up at lunchtime and I was sat there and the guy came over and he said, "Oh, what's that?" I said, "Oh, I'm going to the Paralympics in an hour." And he said, "Oh, what are you competing in?" A, clearly I'm not a Paralympian, and B, as if I'd go, "Well, I'll have a fry-up before I do."
The most astonishing thing about this summit is the number of just the huge roll call of new heroes. Like, just watching Incredible Humans. David Radisha's world record-breaking 800-metre run. That was astonishing. I just sat there watching him thinking, how does a human being learn to run 800 metres that quickly? And then you find out that he was trained by an Irish priest, and you think, yep, that would do it.
Some things don't get medals at all. I get very upset by the fact that in the show jumping and stuff, that horses don't get a medal. And in the dressage, they don't get a medal. And you look at the horse and you think, to be honest, I think the horse is doing most of the work. It's no wonder, and in the show jump, it's no wonder they knock all the fences over, because the horse is just thinking, well, what's in it for me? More even if I go clear, I won't get a single vote in Sports Personality of the Year.
It's also very difficult for them to text the number because they're big foot on the phone. It doesn't really.
It's very, very rare that they have horse voting. And generally, if they do have horse voting, the nays have it.
We're away.
That's the best joke I've heard.
Now we're starting.
And you get into mad sports. There's things that I didn't really know. I didn't know about the steeplechase before, but that's now my favourite race on the track. Is you just go around the track and then eventually someone puts a big fence in your way, which you have to leap over into a pool of water, and then off you go. It's like the crazy golf of the track. They should completely embrace that. I think there should be a little bit further along, there should be a windmill that you have to run through. You have to avoid the sails clattering you. Big rotating Boris Johnson head halfway down the track.
Just the mouth opening and closing.
Going paw, 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 paw. I'm letting out athletes.
I love the open water swimming. I thought that was great, the open water swimming. But I did think it was one of the very few events that Rio are going to do better. There's a lot more stuff in the water there.
Did you actually watch the sailing at any stage?
I did.
Yeah.
It was the one that I just couldn't. I have no idea what's going on here.
Like, oh, he's in first. Oh, he's seventh. Oh, he's ninth. Oh, he's 14th. Oh, he's disqualified. No, he's back in. No, wait, he's won. He's gold. It's a silver. It's on the same row thing, like whatever. They get randomly somebody. Just you'd be watching, going, oh, there he goes, and another boat would just go across. Like, oh, somebody's lost now.
I was watching the Paralympic sailing and I thought it was quite boring until I realised I was actually watching a repeat of Three Men in a Boat.
I did think the broadcasting was generally excellent. I mean, at no point did I think that the BBC sent people along to events whose knowledge of the sport or whose ability to communicate that knowledge was ever in doubt. It was just top quality the entire way through.
Look at the reaction of the Irish fans in attendance here at the XL Arena and what that signifies.
They're up in there. I can't call this. This is too tight.
Were you actually sent there by the BBC, or do you two just carry a microphone around with you?
We start with a round call. If this is the answer, what is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Zoe, which category would you like?
Politics, please.
OK, your category is politics. The answer is 50%. What is the question?
What is the name of 50 Cent's mathematician brother?
Is it what does Heather Mills save on IMAC?
What is the most you'll have to pay for a sofa at DFS?
What is a bad answer to the phrase, how much do you love me?
Is it the percentage of Ant and Dec that is forehead?
Is it you're a 19-year-old Glaswegian male, how much of your life is left?
Is it if I entered an orgy covered in Marmite, what would be my success rate? But to be honest,
I always find that when people say, oh, I'm a Marmite kind of person, people either love me or hate me. They're always people that everybody hates.
Is it how much of Silvio Berlusconi is made of oil?
Is it what percentage of the population, rather than a TV debate, would like to see Cameron and Brown have a cage fight?
I would love to see that.
So would I.
Yeah. Who would win then?
I would imagine Brown.
Yeah, Brown
He's got moves.
Yeah.
He's also got that dislocatable jaw.
Yeah, he can actually swallow your whole.
He could swallow you.
He can actually take your jaw down.
Imagine that. Wouldn't that be incredible? If Cameron ran towards him.
Cameron's legs flapping.
Is it what was the proportion of cats that died during the making of my ill-fated television pilot, Cat versus Bleach?
It would be 100%, surely.
Do we have an answer that we can do?
I think it's what percentage of the top jobs in the Labour Party does Harriet Harman think should be filled by women?
You're absolutely right. Very good. Well done, Hugh. Thank you very much. Yes, the question I was looking for was, according to Harriet Harman, what proportion of the top 2 posts in the Labour Party should be allocated to Harriet Harman? Or more generally, women. This is the news. The Deputy Leader of the Labour Party, Harriet Harman, said that either her post or the job of leader should always be occupied by a woman because, in her words, men cannot be left to run things on their own. Her actual words.
Listen to that applause. Did you hear that? Bingo wings in the corner.
I mean, you know, there is something about representation of women at the high levels of government, but that actual quote does make it seem like every time she left the room, it would turn into a chimp's tea party. When she come back in, they go, oh, sorry.
It's true, though, isn't it, that women are underrepresented in the top echelons of politics, aren't they? In Italy, for example, there are lots of women in the top jobs. You could be... Berlusconi will put you in the cabinet in Italy at the age of 19. If you're good enough. So you can see where she's gone.
Harriet Harman's an incredible figure, isn't she? Do you know that Harriet Harman, when she first came to my attention, she wrote a book about the history of feminism, which she dedicated to her husband. She's mistaking sexism with people hating her.
She's always saying stupid things, isn't she? She said she is Radio 2 to Gordon Brown's Radio 4. And you're thinking, well, she's not Radio 2. Radio 2 is the most popular radio station in this country. If she's anything, she's Isle of Wight FM on a Sunday morning at 3 o'clock in January when the transmission mast is broken.
Some we're watching there is the guy who does the 3 o'clock in the morning slot. Why am I the shorthand for crap?
Wouldn't it be great if he looks exactly like Harriet Harman as well?
I know their female politicians always have an element of freakishness, don't they? She's a bit of a freak. Hazel Blears looks like Gianfranco Zola humped an Oompa Loompa. And Margaret Beckett looks like a face trapped in a haunted mirror.
The next topic is America. Who wants to come in? Andy.
Well, their president is an idiot. That's all I've got on that one. No, this is the man, right? He wants to try and put a person on Mars by building a stopping-off station on the moon. Now, the moon is 378,000 kilometres away. Mars, 78 million kilometres away. Trying to put a person on Mars by building a stopping-off station on the moon is like going to New Zealand by building a stopping-off station at the end of your bloody garden.
Hang on, Sandy. The subject is junk food. Russell.
Hello. Am I allowed to take this out? Or do I have to...
Go for it.
Slick. There was an amazing thing the other day. Apparently 15% of 2 to 11-year-olds in England are now obese, and the government's going to ban telly adverts of junk food till 9 o'clock so the kids can't watch. And you find yourself screaming at the telly, if your 2-year-old's obese, that isn't telly's fault, that's your fault. How can you possibly ban the adverts? Ban your fanny until you can look after what plops out of it. That is unbelievable. There's ways and means. My dad invented something, right, to make us eat our dinner. My sister would never eat it. She was like, no, it looks disgusting, Dad, no way to eat it, right? My dad invented something called the dinner witch. So, my sister was like, it looks disgusting. My dad would wink at me. I'd pop outside, ding-dong, on the doorbell. My dad would then look into my sister's 8-year-old face and go, oh, Kerry, who could that be? During dinner time, with your plate still so full. And I suppose it could be the dinner witch. At which point, my sister would like, slick.
Comedy Gold. Charles Clark. Away you go.
Exactly what I was hoping to get. Charles Clark, a man who's just been having a go at Gordon Brown, also having a go in the last 6 weeks at Tony Blair. Of course, this was the idiot, ladies and gentlemen, who actually mucked up with the foreign prisoners and deportation. He said he became aware of the problem in July 2005, but he only became fully aware of the problem in October 2005. Now, I don't know about you, if you've got a problem, how long it might take you to go from being aware of the problem to being fully aware of the problem. If it took you more than a day, you'd probably be quite disappointed. If it took you 4 months, you'd have thought he might have resigned straight away. Maybe that's why he's been having a go at Gordon Brown and Tony Blair over the last few weeks. He's only just become fully aware that he's been given the bloody sack.
Protest marches. Who's up first? Any come in protest?
Yeah.
Russell.
OK. The only protest march I went on the Countryside Alliance March. I'm not pro or anti-fox hunting. I just quite like watching posh people get beaten up. I know it's wrong, but if you can find me a more glorious noise than then I'll happily listen. Come on, it's going to be fun, isn't it? And it's just so much fun baiting right-wing people. What do you think about fox hunting? I'll tell you what I think. If we didn't chase the fox, the entire bloody country would be overpopulated by foxes. Is that what you want, some hideous land of the foxes? Me, unable to leave my house and fear a fox wandering up to me, stabbing me in the gizzards? Is that what you desire? Looking across my lawn to see fox upon fox, prowling along my paddock, flicking the V's at me, walking hand in hand with asylum seekers? Is that what you want?
Very good, Russell. Well done, Russell Howard. It's transport. Away you go.
Now, we have had bus lanes, we have had cycle lanes, we have a new initiative, combined bus and cycle lanes. What a crap idea that is. If there are two things that should never go together, it would be like having a path in the jungle for walkers and lions. You may also have seen that on our public transport system we now have an advertising campaign. Please ask, is this your bag, to stop unattended packages? Now, quite who you're supposed to ask, is this your bag too, if the package is genuinely unattended. But remember rightly, the problem with the London bombings was not with unattended packages. The problem was very much with packages which were fricking attended. You'll hardly like to go up to somebody wearing a rucksack and go, "Is this your bag?"
Well done, Andy Parsons. OK, the topic is air travel. Who wants to come in on that?
I'll do that.
Russell.
My favourite story about air travel, there was a bloke a little while ago who got put in prison for 3 days because he refused to stop kissing his boyfriend on a plane flight to South Africa. How magic's that? You can't help but picture him dressed entirely in latex, you know, surrounded by a sea of Burberry on an EasyJet flight. All right, lads, I'm going to make this tense for you. Ramon, let's do the bad thing. Do you want to stop doing that? I'm trying to read Nuts magazine. Whatever. Stop doing that. It's not natural. You're flying.
Russell Howard, well done. The next topic is religion. Andy steps to the mic.
Muslims do take their religion very seriously, I think at least in part because they have to pray 5 times a day. Anything you've got to do 5 times a day, you tend to take pretty seriously. We are all supposed to eat 5 fruit and veg every day. Now, we struggle to do that, don't we? Now, imagine you had to eat those 5 fruit and veg at set times every day when some bloke up a tower started wailing fruit and veg at you. At which point you had to start reciting various passages from Delia Smith's healthy cookbook whilst pointing in the direction of Norwich.
Very good, Andy Parsons. OK, the first subject is street protesters. Can I have a volunteer talk about that?
I'll do that, Dara. Nation. So, I love street protesters, they're fantastic. The best I saw, there's a lovely old lady who, since the war in Iraq started, she stands outside the Bristol Hippodrome with a big sign that says, "Toot if you're anti-war." And if you drive past her and go, "Ha," she does this. Now, I'm not sure. I've made her leap many times. I don't know if I'm anti-war or really pro-pensioner leaping. You know, when you kind of go, "Why am I doing this? Ha, stop it! Nah, do it!" They're everywhere. They're brilliant. There's a bloke that I saw the other day. You know, one of those religious godbotherers. It's fantastic. Just with a loud hailer, just pointing at people running. "You're going to hell. You're going to hell. You're going to hell." Everyone was freaked out. 2 goths delighted. That's a separate issue. But he pointed at me and I was freaked out. And then he did something wonderful. He pointed at this really strutting black guy. I don't know why the fact that he's black made it cooler, but it really did, right? Pointed at, went, "You're going to hell." Without missing a beat, this bloke just went, "No, mate, HMV." And he just sat there going, "Oh, oh."
Well done, Russell Howard. It's health. Away you go.
Now, once again, they've been having a go this week, haven't they, about skinny models, saying that they give us a bad body image. Now, I'm not sure we're quite that insecure, are we? You know, I see a skinny model, I don't think, "Oh, I better go on a diet." I think, "Oh, there's a skinny model, I bet they're hungry. I think I'll have a pie."
And it's childhood.
So, I found this out this week, right, that we're giving happiness tests for 6-year-old kids. How ridiculous is that? My friend Wendy's a teacher. Twice a year, there you go. "Are you happy? I've eaten my crayon." Which made me happy, so swings and roundabouts, really. Which I also like. It's just the most ridiculous idea. Some bloke right, "This is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. What makes you happy? You! Sneezing. You! I quite like tickling people. You! I like putting marbles up my brother's bum." Now, don't judge me. I did that once. I'm not showing off, but when you're 8 and your little brother's 6, the power you have is incredible. You've got to put some marbles up your bum. Why? If we get enough in there, you turn into a wizard. Fill me up! Fill me up! I will.
Well done, Russell. The first topic is transport. Andy.
trains are overcrowded, but of course the train companies, they've got an answer for that, haven't they? What do they say? Well, they say, well, actually, overcrowding is quite a good safety measure because apparently during the Cannon Street rail crash, those passengers that were stood up like sardines, they were less badly injured than the ones who were sat down. Now, how can you justify something that's only any good in the event of a crash? And what are you supposed to do if your train isn't very crowded? Are you supposed to stand unnaturally close to people, going, I'm terribly sorry about this, but in the event of a crash, apparently, you're my airbag?
Well done, Andy Parsons. The next topic is education. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
I remember school being fun. I think my favourite moment ever in life, pretty much. There was a girl in our school called Lydia. She was trying to make her calculator work. She was repeatedly knocking it against the desk. And after about an hour, our teacher went, Lydia! How would you like it if I banged you against the desk? It's the greatest day of school. But now it's more sinister, isn't it? Like, they're now talking about teaching 5-year-olds sex education. Of course, people are very angry. It's disgusting! It's too much! Like, calm down. Not going to teach them technique. Right, this is how I like to do it, kids. That's right. Kids aren't going to run home, put dolls around a toy car and go, look, Mum, they're dogging, they're dogging. It's going to be some poor teacher trying to talk to 5-year-olds about love. Can you imagine a harder job? Hello, children. I'm here to teach you about love. Good luck with that, mate. I'm off to lick that tree.
Thank you very much. The subject is sport. Who wants to come in on that?
So, hey, Freddie Flintoff, how drunk would he have been on Monday night? That's all I've got on that one. We have got a great new British hope for our sport, though. Laura Robson, Britain's tennis, 15 years old, both her parents Australian. We don't mind immigration when they've got a bit of talent. We object to people sneaking into Britain on a rubber dinghy unless they can do it really bloody quickly.
Thank you very much, Andy Parsons. And the topic is joy.
Two very giddy albinos there. Do you know what gives me joy? People who are a bit different. I fell in love with my friend Tom, age 5. He stood up in the middle of a nativity play and went, well, enough's enough. What made it even better, he was the front end of a donkey. I like noises as well. I heard this in a supermarket the other day. Whee! I thought, I'm following that, right? It was an old man skidding on a trolley. He'd done the trolley gauntlet, just whee! Just this blur of giddy wrinkles. What made it even better, a security guard stopped him and went, oi, I've told you. How can that not make me happy? And sometimes we laugh at stuff that we shouldn't. Like, I was in a pub recently, I saw a full-size Jenga topple onto a pissed dwarf. Now, the head says no, the belly says yes! Laugh, Russell! Before the bricks hit his tiny face, he went, bloody hell. A bloke 2 seats along went, that was like 9/11. You're there going, oh, God.
Thank you very much, Russell. Andy, on the topic of smoking.
Yes. Now, the government, they've made a bit of a muck of this smoking ban. Basically, it looks like in England that they're only going to ban smoking in those pubs that serve food. So a lot of pubs in England have said, well, in which case we're going to ban food and keep smoking. You're now going to have to go outside for a pie. You're going to have occasional eaters nipping outside, trying to scrounge a spare lasagna. Of course, people are desperately trying to find out different ways of giving up smoking. You know, various things like acupuncture, of course, where people stick needles into people to make people feel better. As opposed, of course, to voodoo. Where people stick needles into things that look like people make people feel worse. Now, I was wondering, right, if you had a pair of identical twins and one of them had acupuncture, is the other one in a bit of trouble?
And it's etiquette.
I'm quite a socially awkward bloke. Oh, thanks for laughing at just that. I saw a girl on a train recently and she was eating a yoghurt, and for some reason my brain thought it would be a good idea to go, you know, that's very good for thrush. She'd suddenly go, oh, sit down, stranger. I can't help it. I drift in. Like, I was at a museum the other day. Everyone said, don't take photos, and I was taking a photo. A 9-year-old girl arrives, goes, what you doing? I'm taking a photo. She ran off. I'm off to tell the man. Now, the last thing you want to be doing is chasing a 9-year-old girl across a museum going, don't tell the man, don't tell the man. Added to the fact that when you catch her, you've got to go, I'll delete the photo. That doesn't look good.
Thank you very much. What's up?
I would like to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, right, I don't wear any clothes in bed. That's all I've got on that one. The reason, of course, right, if anybody breaks in, I figure I'm a little more scary in the altogether than I would be if I was wearing my paisley pyjamas. Obviously, I'd be even scarier wearing a gimp mask. Going, I'm so glad you've broken in. I've been looking forward to this moment for many years.
The subject is young people. Ross.
Funky young people. You know, it's depressing being hit. I saw this the other day, it nearly killed me. It's a kid who was about 8 years old in a cafe with his mum. He went, here, Mum, doesn't matter how many of these you eat. He was eating a fun-sized Mars bar. Doesn't matter how many of these you eat, it never leads to fun. How depressing is that? It's not a happy meal. Life is suffering, Russell. Life is suffering. It shouldn't be like that when you're 8. When you're 8, you should be excited about the world. Can you remember the first time you saw a rainbow? Can you remember the giddy delirium in your mind? You're like, Dad, there's colours in the sky. I like the sky. I like colours. The two are combined. My mind is literally blown. I need answers, big man. I need answers. Well, that sun is called a rainbow. Oh, my God, it has a name. It has a name. This day can get no better. There's a pot of gold at the end of it. And it's guarded by a tiny leprechaun. Pull over, Dad. Pull over right now. Has anyone ever chased a rainbow? I did. You never forget it. I bet you didn't do this. Me and my little brother took a knife just in case the leprechaun acted up, right?
Thank you very much. What's up? The subject is drugs. Who wants to come in on that? Andy.
So, drugs. The Home Office have in fact clarified apparently how many spliffs you can have on your person before you might be regarded as a dealer. Apparently the answer is 500. That's a fair amount of personal use, isn't it? You would have thought you could have 500 almost anything on you and be regarded as a dealer. If I had 500 hobnobs on me, I think you could regard me as pushing biscuits. Not that I know that much about drugs, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently the current trend amongst young people is to have an upper followed straight away by a downer just to take the edge off it. Why not just take a bit less of the upper? That to me would be like having a Red Bull and then having a Horlicks straight away afterwards.
Well done, Andy. That's fitness.
Could have been camel toes. Now, I was in the gym the other day. I was in a locker room, and a 5-year-old boy ran in and jumped into a locker. Now, sometimes you know you're just going to have an incident, right? You could hear him in there giggling, like, and you knew what he was going to do. He was going to jump out and scare his mates, because his mates appeared seconds later, like, where's Stephen gone? Where's Steve? He was there a minute ago. This is most irregular. And he waited, not for his mates, but for 3 huge naked men. It was fantastic. They were kind of walking past, and this little kid leapt at those men like a cat with rabies. It was incredible, right? Just from nowhere, the noise they made, I've never heard a noise like it. They sounded like a tugboat getting molested. Oh. His long-suffering dad is in the showers, obviously heard this and went, "That'll be my bloody boy!" Ran back, confronted this glowing hellbeast and went, "Stephen, what have I told you about acting up in public?" And this little kid cut his dad down with one very simple sentence. "Dad, your willy's moving?" You're just there going, oh, the world is a better place.
Thank you very much, Russell. It's education.
I am a little disappointed. I was hoping to get England as a topic. But yes, education. You may have seen that, in fact, our kids are now going to get taught atheism in the classroom. You would have thought that should be a fairly short lesson, wouldn't you? Hello, come in. There is no God. Same time next week.
The next topic is the consumer society. Russell.
It's all a bit much, isn't it? I went into a shop the other day that said, "Why not try a guilt-free wrap?" You're like, don't make sandwiches evil. Sandwiches are lovely. The bacon sandwich, one of the loveliest things in the world. What is a bacon sandwich? Essentially, it's bread giving a dead pig a cuddle. It's a lovely thing. I love you, Mr. Pig. Why do the Jews hate me? It's lovely. I was really down about it, and then I saw this wonderful thing that I think could only happen in the West Country. The bloke behind the counter in this shop yawned. The bloke in front of him, who did not know him, popped his finger in his mouth and went, "Ooh, yawn rape," and I nearly died. I had never seen a yawn rape. And now you've learned about it, you can't not do it. You'll be on a bus, you'll see an old yawn rape, you can't help it. Did the bloke behind the counter headbutt him? No, he didn't. The bloke behind the counter giggled and went, "It's a good job I didn't fart, wasn't it?" And you're sat there going, well, the world is a better place.
Thank you very much, Russell.
Can we move on to the actual meeting itself, the Conservative Party conference? How has that gone? How have the Conservatives, in the light of all these scandals, won back the hearts and minds of the British public?
Cameron wants to bring back the idea that you'll have your own doctor again. They want to extend GP hours and also have you don't just see the annual GP, you'll have your own GP, which I like the idea of, because my surgery, you don't know which one you're going to see. And sometimes when you arrive, we've got one of those electronic arrive for your appointment things, rather than talk to a receptionist. They feel there's a more efficient way of spreading disease if you all have to touch a screen. and sometimes it'll say you're going to see this doctor or that doctor, but sometimes it doesn't know. And one time I've gone in, and it's actually gone, "You are seeing Dr. Unknown." My old nemesis. We meet again, Dr. Unknown.
People are worried about kind of immigration and employment. People are defecting to UKIP. And so to counter that, there's this amazing policy, which is that if a parent or something dies and he leaves a pension, they're going to reduce the tax that you have to pay after death. You kind of think, what is that exciting in any sense?
Yes.
No.
To rich people, that is enormously exciting.
I don't understand it. What about zombies?
Okay. Zombies is a legal grey area.
Do they have to pay it, or do they get a rebate?
They don't get a rebate, but they only have to pay a lower rate of tax on when they draw down the lump sum that they had previously invested but not taken. Presuming they became a zombie after 75. Before 75, of course, they get the same series of monthly payments that I have leading up to the break. Unlikely things to hear on a travel programme.
Look at these wide, sandy beaches. Fantastic. And we're almost certain the Ebola has now gone.
And the most wonderful thing about a trip to China is you get the opportunity to meet the child that made your trousers.
Yeah, I said it.
Southend is a lot like Las Vegas. It's the only other place in the world where you can play for sex with chips.
This is Taiwan. I've given him a number because I can't pronounce his name properly.
I'm Danny Dyer, and welcome to Italy's quaintest vineyards.
Now, if you are travelling to America, remember to pack some anti-sickness tablets, because this is where Piers Morgan lives.
Running, cycling, rock climbing, you'll do anything to get out of this shithole.
The accommodation, the weather, the food, all of these wonderful things help you to forget how smelly the locals are.
Yeah, I said it. Yeah.
Today we got a flavour of Thailand with just a little bit of Iraq. I'm in a branch of Thai-Rack.
This week, I'm in Kyrgyzstan, answering your questions, like, how do you spell it and where the fuck is it?
So, here we are in Lewisham. Now, it is a very impoverished area, but there's a lot to see and do if what you like seeing and doing is crime.
This truly is the best way to see Portsmouth, while looking at a picture of it when you're in Paris.
I'm almost certain my producer has got this wrong. I'm on a train to Leighton with a load of football fans. This is the Orient Express.
Something about travel.
Yeah, I said it.
This is Keflavik, one of Iceland's oldest geezers. You all right, mate?
When you arrive, why not try island hopping, or as it's also known as river dance?
When you travel, it's important to immerse yourself in the culture. So here I am in Malia being fingered outside the Lammen flag.
OK, here we go. The first subject is... unlikely lines from a cosmetics commercial.
Do you want tighter, smoother skin? Why not try getting fat?
For a rich, all-over tan, get into a bath David Dickinson's just got out of.
Do you suffer from low self-esteem, feel like a failure, think you can't go on? Then take 200 Nurofen. That should do the trick.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe she got it off that guy in Ibiza.
Now, Daphne here is wearing a lot of concealer. Daphne?
What's my secret? I murdered my first husband.
Want thicker, fuller lips? Then try telling a nightclub bouncer he's a twat to his face.
Clinique. Because clinic reminds you of chlamydia and stuff.
This eyeliner really works. And it tastes good, too. That's why we call it chicken tikka mascara.
I'm Dean Gaffney, and I'm worth it.
We don't test any of our products on animals. We use Filipino children.
Is your man hairy all over, then why not try head, shoulders, knees and toes?
New anti-wrinkle cream for men. My scrotum has never felt so smooth.
For the most relaxing bubble bath imaginable, why not have a little cheeky wank when you're in there?
Do you dream of longer, fuller lashes? Then you should try re-evaluating your priorities.
Sweaty from the tube, frizzy hair from the rain, black snot. She's got the London look.
3 steps to a better skin.
No crisps, no chips, no burgers.
How is an Italian neuroscientist hoping to make medical history?
This is brilliant.
This is
an
amazing.
absolutely fantastic
This is
story.
amazing.
He is planning to give someone a head transplant, or to take someone's head off and transplant it onto another body.
It's a bit ridiculous, though, isn't it? Like, how in demand are heads? Like, who's at home going, finally, I can get an head now, all these years?
No, I think it mixed up a head transplant and a body transplant. No one is going, if only my body had the head it deserved.
Yeah.
I have a... You are quite ripped, aren't you? Yeah.
I reckon he's on the flag. I reckon he's going to get 2 people who are quite similar, get one of them, get rid of the other one, and just do like a little dotted line around the neck. Go, done it, nailed it.
You would never, ever want to be a head donor, would you? Because that just sounds like a PC job title for a prostitute, doesn't it? That's basically
I don't think, and I know little enough about the sex industry, that they regard it as a donation. I think.
But you are giving head.
Yes, you are, but there is also...
Speak for yourself.
Yes. I don't know. I can't speak for the sex industry. Maybe they go, the head is free. It's the companionship you're paying for.
If you hadn't seen somebody for ages,
Yeah.
and whenever you had seen them, they'd always been in a wheelchair, and then you suddenly saw them walking along the street, you'd be quite freaked out by that, wouldn't you? Right? But it would not be as freaky as if you thought somebody had died and then you saw them walking along the street with exactly the same tattoos as the person who died. That would freak you right out, wouldn't it?
There would be an element of you would want... I don't know if you can request no tattoos, though.
You'd wake up and be like, why is that pierced?
Hello. I'm not married to Mabel. What the hell is this doing here? This is going to be awkward
I love that your go-to name for a wife was Mabel.
Yeah. It's actually Mary. I thought it was too Irish. I thought, I better pick something English. Mabel, that's a standard English
Have
name.
you met my beautiful wife, Mabel?
If you put a head on someone else's body, are heads gender specific? Do they have to go on the same...
Oh, that's a very interesting question.
Because I was thinking you'd have to find the match, wouldn't you? Sometimes a head is much too large for a body. So, for example, if your head was to go on Posh Spice, that would look... That would look ridiculous.
She'd be lolling. She'd be lolling. I don't know which of us it is. Would be lolling ferociously.
I would be having some confusing feelings looking at that. I tell you that.
I can enjoy this. Who'd you be blocking out? Who'd you be blocking out? Seriously, Josh, be honest with me. Would you be blocking out me or Posh in this situation? Or would it be like those superhero mashup toys? That you're going...
Wait, which Spice Girl would they choose, then?
Well, Posh, I think.
No, they choose Scary because she's like, you know... I don't think they give you a catalogue of just the Spice Girls. I don't think it's...
I totally misunderstood the story.
I don't think, I need a new body. Well, these are your 5 exact choices. Oh, that seems unusual.
So I could choose one of the All Saints?
Presumably, yeah.
If you can remember their names.
Essentially, that's what the Sugar Babes have been for about 10 years anyway. At the end, and the points go to Rob, Ellie and Andy! OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with the subject. Let's spin the wheel. And subject is work.
The pollen count. That's a difficult job. Easiest job in the world, of course. Australian psychiatrist.
G'day, g'day. How you doing? No worries. Next.
I lost my job with lastminute.com for being persistently late. I lost my job as a cricket commentator for saying the words, "I don't want to bore you with the details." If they make it illegal to wear the veil at work, beekeepers are going to be furious. My wife, it's difficult to say what she does. She sells seashells on the seashore. Some people say the firefighters deserve more money, but apparently a poll was taken and they all fell through a hole in the floor. Sometimes I wonder what my grandfather would think of what I do. He spent his whole life in the kebab business, was buried with all his equipment. He's probably turning in his grave.
Thank you very much, John. And the first subject is relationships. Ellie.
So I've got quite a close relationship with my sister, and she's got my little nephew, Henry, who is a prick. No, he is. Don't take his side. You haven't met him. Because before he came along, I was the youngest in the family. I was the baby of the family, which we all know is the socially acceptable way for saying favourite. A role I was born to play until my sister, Slaggy McSlaggerson, got herself knocked up by some dude she had barely been married to for 6 years. Suddenly, it was all about her and the baby within. Now, initially, naively, I did actually get quite excited about the pregnancy, because I think, especially from, like, a female point of view, you wouldn't be human if you didn't get excited about your sister putting on a lot of weight. Had a lot of fun with that. We did. I changed her ringtone to the sound of a large lorry reversing. Just sisterly banter, really. But the banter stopped when the baby came, because suddenly it was all about him. No one paid me any attention anymore. Like, I don't know if you've ever had, like, sort of a family dinner with a small child around. It's a nightmare. There's food being thrown, there's shit everywhere, there's tits hanging out. You name it, I tried it, still nothing. Thank you.
Very good. OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been given. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is entertainment.
I'm reading a book at the moment. It's called The Anticlimax. The first part is good. I see Rihanna had to cancel a concert because she got salmonella. Ella. I also see that down by the Thames they're making another wheel, this time dedicated to Mary Poppins, called the London Umdiddle-Diddle-Umdiddle-I. My grandmother, she got her scarf caught in one of those Ferris wheels, but she did regain consciousness. After all, what goes around... I was in a nativity play once. I was the man who scares the children because he comes into the hall on the wrong day to play badminton. Lionel Richie says hello, by the way. The other day, I saw a sheep pole dancing in a kebab shop.
Thank you very, very much. OK. Getting that round the point. Go. Now we play a round called NHS Revolving Door of Happiness. This game involves Michael, Andy, Frankie and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We spin our high-tech news generator and it randomly settles on a topic and anyone can volunteer some jokes about the chosen subject. The team producing the funniest stuff gets the points. OK, here we go. The first subject is... Let's spin the wheel. It's travel. Who wants to come in on that? Andy Parsons.
Now then, it is quite tricky, isn't it, travelling at the moment? You go over to America, they actually fingerprint you now, ladies and gentlemen, but only 2 of your fingers. So provided you've used only 8 fingers to commit a crime, you should be absolutely fine. America, of course, the self-styled home of democracy, when at the moment their current president is the son of a previous president, and it looks like their next president may well be the wife of a previous president. What a democracy, hey, ladies and gentlemen? Say what you like about Britain, but I think we're unlikely to elect Mark Thatcher or Norma Major. They do, of course, say that Americans have no sense of irony. Now, I don't think this is true. I think Americans do often have a sense of irony. What they often don't have is a sense of self-deprecation. Only in Britain would we have a best-selling book entitled Crap Towns, and they'll have to produce a second book, Crap Towns 2, because too many British people had written in complaining that their town hadn't made the first book.
Thank you very much, Andy. Right, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is relationships. Yeah, that means relationships, that picture there. That represents all of our
That looks like an extramarital relationship. Good. Hello. I've taken this subject. Yes, I am in a relationship with my wife. Thank you. We've married for 3 years, and we've been together for 8 in total. And supposedly this is enough for her to say to me the other day, quite by surprise, she said, I want to try this thing. My friends have done it. I've seen it on the TV. It's really good fun. Just say you'll do it. I'm like, I don't know what to do, so I can't really agree to that. Just say you'll do it! So I thought, OK, right, I don't want this to be a row. I haven't really said anything yet. So I said, fine, what is it? She said, great! We can write a list. It really took me by surprise, of 5 people we're allowed to sleep with from outside of the marriage. I thought, are you joking? Are you serious about this? It's really good fun! I've already done my list. OK, fine. So I humoured her, so I compiled this list. She gives me her list. I just wanted to run it by you girls because I felt it was kind of predictable. There were no surprises, usual suspects. George Clooney was #1 on the list. Brad Pitt was on the list. Justin Timberlake was on the list. She's like, give me your list, give me your list. So I give her my list. #1, your sister. She's like, where are you going? I'm going to phone your sister. You didn't think this through, did you, darling? Why don't you try George Clooney's agent? Thank you. That's my joke.
Well done, Michael. Thank you very much. OK, Russell and Frankie are left. The next topic is men's health is the next topic, as represented by the knee. The window on the man's soul, the knee.
Well, we've all been there, let's be honest. Jesus. And it's got quite a nice pant ferret there, which is a bit of hair. Never mind. Hey, we all call it our pan ferret, don't we, children? Men's health, basically, it's quite an embarrassing story. Because it's terrifying when you go to the doctors, and you're so scared. I turn into a 6-year-old boy. I'm totally unable to explain what's wrong with me. I'm like, doctors like that, what's wrong with you? Who did this to you? Dragons. And you're sat there, terrified. 3 times in my life, I've been convinced I've got testicular cancer. Every single time, it's been an ingrowing hair. It's, yeah, funny. It's getting to the stage. I need something terminal just to stop me looking like a massive pervert. You know, there's no way of getting comfy when you're having your balls checked, because the doctor's like, obviously my balls aren't that big. If you sat there go, well, you do appear to have a problem, Mr. Howard. You appear to have camel's gonads. But you don't know where to put your hands, you know? You can't sort of do that or anything. I toyed with the idea of doing that firmly. I wish I'd been courageous enough just to go... But I didn't. I sat there like a timid T-Rex as my penis gently shrunk. And it's horrible, because the only good thing about going to the doctors is the ladies' magazines. You know, it's always the same in it. I found love in Falaraki! The most orange woman you've ever seen. Like Morph in a frock, clinging on to some terrified waiter. He gives me love 24/7! Cock your own fish fingers, Darren, he's a keeper! You're literally flicking through. When you get to the middle, that's when it gets properly ridiculous. There's always some woman staring at that. There's a ghost in my womb. I was walking downstairs. It flew out me vulva. It were Henry VIII. And that's the only good thing about going to the doctors.
Thank you very much, yourself. Thank you very much. Okay, I'll give him a round of applause again. Sorry, everyone. Well, now that we've comprehensively dealt with the topic of men's health, Frankie, let's see what you've been left with. Yeah, by process of elimination, Frankie, away you go.
Latvian runners?
I'm guessing that's sport.
It's sport. Oh, did I not? Oh, I thought we were still on men's health, to be honest. I thought we were still dangerous to the testicles, really. Is what that picture seems to indicate to me. OK, we'll, let's do it again. Sorry, my mistake. OK. Do you want to go? Yeah, there we go. Frankie, let's see what you've been left with. I'm guessing sport.
They say that the Olympics is going to rekindle English national pride. I mean, come on, for 9.2 billion, you could have written "fuck off Germany" onto the moon. It's good they're holding the Olympics in the East End of London. It means the athletes will have to use extra skill to work out which of the gunshots they heard was the starting pistol. Glasgow's getting in the act. Glasgow's bidding for the Commonwealth Games. Be good to finally see an international athletics event with a crowd fail a drugs test. The East End of Glasgow is already like an Olympic village. Lots of people who struggle to speak English wandering around in tracksuits. I'm looking forward to our opening ceremony, seeing them lighting that torch from a smouldering Ford Focus.
Frankie Boyle, let's go up. Well, let's give the points. Round of it. Andy and Russell get the points in that one. Come back down. Bad things to say at a job interview.
What can I bring to the job? A burning hatred of the West, a hook for a hand and a pilot's licence.
The 5-year employment gap, yeah. I was canoeing.
Right, I hope we can all be professional about the fact that I've just split up with all three of you.
I'm really only here because I'm hoping to slip on a wet floor and then fall off a ladder.
Yes, I've had a few changes of address, Wormwood Scrubs, Broadmoor, but for the last 3 months I've lived in your air conditioning.
I'm really into diversity. In my last team, I made sure that we had a black, a fruit and a fatty.
I have always wanted to work in a motel.
I'm telling them, Mother, I'm telling them!
This job would be a great opportunity for me to steal a shitload of stationery.
Hey! I remember you from the dungeon. How you doing? It's me, Gimpy Terry.
I'm Gimpy Terry's mate.
Sum myself up in 3 words. I suppose it would have to be killer alien vagina.
What do you mean I'm underqualified to be a plumber? I'm 5 hours late. I've done a piss in your sink.
When can I start? Yesterday. But I can only work till today.
9 till 5, 9 till 5. My medication wears off at 3.
Now we play a round called Mock You, I Won't Do What You Tell Me. This game involves Milton, Mark, Patrick and Russell, so if you could make your way over to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward to talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest. OK, here we go. Our first topic, please. And it's travel. Who wants to come on that? Mark Watson.
I think the thing with travelling is it's often quite hard to make yourself understood. I was in South Africa recently, and the way they talk there, that's not even the joke yet. I literally went to South Africa, all their vowels sound the same. So a word like cigarettes, it sounds like secrets. I was there, this guy was going, give me one of your secrets. Can I have one of your secrets? Look, well, I once masturbated in a library. But in a way, I do at least prefer it when it's me travelling. I get very nervous when people I know and love are travelling, like my wife. My wife is always in planes and stuff. I get very nervous in case something happens to her. I've even resorted to checking, you can track the flight on the website. So the other week, my wife was flying, and I was there following it on the website, and it says, in the air. I couldn't relax till it said, landed. Which I know, I'm not sure how reliable a guide it is, really. I can't imagine if there is a problem, they change it to crashed. Turned into a fireball, frowny face.
Thank you very much, Mark. Well done. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is international relations. Patrick.
The world is a very dangerous place, and I think in order to bring more peace and to prevent war, what we need to do is to cancel the United Nations and stand down all armies. What we should do is we should replace it. Every government should have to open a Facebook account. Because Barack Obama opened a Facebook account to run for president, and a year later, he won the Nobel Peace Prize. It would be great. If every government had a Facebook account, the world would be a much better place. America and North Korea are now friends. China likes this. Hezbollah has poked Israel. The people of Palestine have written on Israel's wall. Osama bin Laden has tagged you in an album. Jihad 2001. America and Pakistan have gone from in a relationship to it's complicated.
OK, that leaves us Milton and Russell. The next topic, please. And it's etiquette.
I'm quite a socially awkward bloke. Oh, thanks for laughing at just that. I saw a girl on a train recently, and she was eating a yoghurt, and for some reason my brain thought it would be a good idea to go, you know, that's very good for thrush. She'd suddenly go, oh, sit down, stranger. I can't help it. I drift in. Like, I was at a museum the other day. Everyone said, don't take photos, and I was taking a photo. A 9-year-old girl arrives, goes, what you doing? I'm taking a photo. She ran off. I'm off to tell the man. Now, the last thing you want to be doing is chasing a 9-year-old girl across a museum going, don't tell the man, don't tell the man. Added to the fact that when you catch her, you've got to go, I'll delete the photo. That doesn't look good.
Thank you very much. Yes, up. OK, Milton, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is health.
My sister's got hay fever. Now she's got diabetes, so I tried to cheer her up, you know, flowers, chocolates. About a month before he died, my grandfather recovered his back with lard. After that, he went downhill very quickly. Recently had bird flu, but it's all relative, isn't it? You know, if I had rabies and you offered me bird flu, I'd bite your hand off. Last summer, I set up a clinic for colonic irrigation, but the hosepipe ban hit us hard. Very much so.
I think the points have to go to Milton and Patrick. Give a round of applause. Yeah, no, his quote from Mingus, if you ever put me in one of those ham slicing machines, you'd find the top half Liberal and the bottom half Liberal Democrat. You're kind of going...
What an incredible thing to say.
Well, A, who goes into a ham slicing machine for a start? Surely you mean in one of those machines that cuts you in half, not one that slowly grinds it out to a series of really tiny slices.
He'll still be alive after this. I mean, it just shows you he is a zombie.
That would be amazing.
No wonder you couldn't kill him on that part of Resident Evil.
That would be great. At the conference, and they said, please welcome our leader, and everyone's expecting a very boring speech once more. Menzies Campbell, whatever he's called, and his legs come out 2 minutes before his body. Liberal Democrat, come on! Bring on the cheeky girl!
He's got a 4% approval rating, Ming Campbell, which is nothing. Right, so they could just have anybody lead them. It's not going to make any difference. So I say, come on, let's get Lee from Blue. He's not going to be any worse.
He's looking for a gig.
Yeah.
He's got to be.
And also, his policies aren't going to come into force and say whatever he wants. I think that the homosexuals should declare war on the robots. Doesn't matter. Lee from Blue, bit of a laugh.
And also, his name is very odd. His name is Mingus.
Mingus, yes. Goss. Yeah, Mingus.
Yeah, but it's pronounced... It's spelled M-E-N-Z-I-E-S.
Yes.
Well, why are you looking at me like I'm insane?
He's got
That's Menzies. Menzies. Yeah. John Menzies.
But apparently...
Menzies. Apparently don't go, let's go to John Mingus. They don't do it. But what do you do? Martina Hingis. Martina Hengis. Why are you still looking at me like I'm not making sense? It's a G, not a Z.
Because I'm waiting to turn on me and my crazy ethnic name.
When they were bringing it's Men Z. That's not G. When they were growing... There's fundamentally something wrong with this man. He can't speak. He doesn't understand his own name. When he was growing up, hello, Ming, shall we go to the Goo and see the Gebra? What are they talking about? Should we catch Gulu Dawn and maybe get to Gingerburger? It's a nonsense.
What's going on here?
It's just Nigel Farage hailing a cab.
That is Nigel Farage attempting to get out of a car via the window. Still the most sensible exit he's ever negotiated.
That's the first time a cab driver's ever turned round and gone, actually, mate, I find what you're saying a bit offensive.
What's very creepy about this is that if you look in the reflection of the car at the back there, you can see there's a bald man, and then if you look in the front of the car, he's there as well.
It's a bit suspicious that he's resigned at the same time as Cameron and Johnson.
And Chris Evans.
Yeah, do you think they're going to be presenting Top Gear? Yeah. Very, very like the old one. So Cameron would wear the flowery shirts, Boris would do the stunts, and the Farage would just be horrible to foreigners. Exactly the same format.
No, he resigned this week as leader of UKIP. Here he is. You know, there's another photograph that was at the weekend at a garden party with Rupert Murdoch, wearing a pair of shoes that, frankly, the bowling alley would like back. You know, because, you know, there's a clean-up in aisle 3. Who's thrilled with him leaving? Who's thrilled with him leaving?
Everyone. Yeah.
OK.
Sadly, not.
I'm
not thrilled with him leaving.
You're not thrilled with Farage leaving? No, you think he should stay and clear of the mess?
Yeah, I think he just left. Didn't do his
They've
job.
all left. That's
They've all
the thing.
left. They've all messed up, and they've all left.
It's but it's going to be a quality celebrity Big Brother in Jan, isn't it?
Who's running the country at the moment?
Mandelson, Peter Mandelson, Darth Mandelson.
Yes.
Do you know what nobody ever says about him? He's gay and he's a lord. He's a gay lord.
What's wrong there?
To be honest. He's been running the country, but he's been in Corfu, then we're getting handed over to Alistair Darling, to Jack Straw. We're like the school hamster. I wouldn't be surprised if Alistair Darling leaves our gate open and we're found dead under a bookcase. Basically, we're 2 car crashes and a vomiting virus away from Andy Townsend running the country. Hi, I'm Andy Townsend. I've got the vomiting virus, so I'm handing over to Chris Akabusi.
Nobody's running the country. And the papers have roughly the same tone you have, which is nobody's running the country, as if the country is heading towards rocks and somebody has to steer it away. In the last month, right, the FTSE has gone up 10% since they all went on holiday. The weather is better and the football starts at the weekend. So frankly, I think it's working out fine without them in charge.
Hey, get rid of them all, kill them all, install the clangers, at least we'll get soup.
There were some beautiful photos of Mandelson on holiday that were just so lovely. Proper British man red. Did you see any of those? He looked like he'd been left on a George Foreman grill. And some of the photos of him as well, the clothes he's wearing, he looked like he'd just been fried and then just flung into Matalan. You just see him sort of walking along like that. It was some of the most...
Not only did he go to Corfu, on his way home he stopped off for 2 days to visit his parents in Mordor. How terrifying would it be for Mandelson to stay in your house? Have you seen Peter today? No, I don't know. He dematerialised and then fled into the air vents. I think if you want him to appear, you have to stamp twice and say his real name.
When Manson leaves, there's a small woman come into your house and go, "The house is clean."
Imagine him turning up at your holiday. Imagine seeing Mandelson on the beach. There's people on the banana boat, look like they're having a good time. Have them assassinated. Then bring me an enormous vibrating egg.
I was intrigued by the fact that Theresa May ran a campaign, a successful campaign to become Prime Minister by doing and saying nothing for about 6 weeks and just watching everyone else die. It was like the one that we've learned is how Theresa May plays Call of Duty, which is online. Theresa just finds a place to hide, holds up with the shotgun, lets the killing commence, pops out lurking, pam, 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 gone, back in again.
My big worry with Theresa May is that she might smile and it'll be winter forever.
But the crazy thing about Theresa May is obviously that hardly anyone has voted for her. Like, I think it's 165 MPs have got her into power.
Yeah.
I think there are more members of the So Solid crew than have voted her into power.
You weren't elected, were you, to this position,
I
Darren?
wasn't. I stole it in a bloody coup. And
Year
would do it
after
again,
year.
my friend. People have disappeared from the show, Miles, and would again for raising those exact kind of questions.
Well, I'm just saying.
Where's Frankie now? Where's Russell now? Gone.
You will be dragged through the streets, Darren. You will be dragged through the streets like Gaddafi.
There are
then they'll be laughing.
Oh, there are 5 regulars on the show. How many regulars now? Just poor weak Hugh. Poor weak Hugh, who I own. Hugh will always give the correct answer when I ask him to, won't you, Hugh? Won't you, Hugh?
Your shoes are almost polished.
Thank you, Hugh. Hugh knows what's right for him. In other news...
I think you're terrific on the megabus, sir.
Doesn't know if you're being sarcastic here, Hugh.
And there goes the final regular.
Just me. You people. How many European Union member states rejected Prime Minister Theresa May's plans for Brexit? What do you think of the EU leaders' response to Theresa May's checkers plan?
It's not a surprise, is it? She knew they were going to reject it, but she went there on a sort of charm offensive, but she's Theresa May, so she decided just to do without the charm and just really double down on the offensive.
She's always got the look of someone that's selling dodgy electrical gear at a car boot sale.
I can't watch it anymore. I just find it too cringy of just watching all the EU leaders get on well, apart from her. She reminds me too much of what I was like in secondary school at a party, and that you're expecting in a minute that she's going to like look at the EU's CD collection.
Just in a corner somewhere, going. Oh.
I thought about this the other day, like, what are we going to be talking about when we're not talking about Brexit? And then I thought, we're not going to have time to talk. I would be too busy mugging old ladies for their penicillin prescriptions.
Here's the three main things I'm worried about in the trade deal.
OK.
Orangina, pom bears and French kissing. In that order, if we can secure all those things, I'm happy to go ahead with Chequers.
Well, one of them is that it might affect flights to other EU countries. And again, I just think that's going to be the last thing we're worried about under a no-deal Brexit when we're, you know, too busy sucking off a greengrocer for a cabbage. So,
in the first morning, surely. Let us get to the end of the week before we have to fillet retailers just to
Why
get
didn't the
basic
Remain
provisions?
campaign put that on a bus?
Because I'd be scared about the amount
A
of
picture of a hearty greengrocer. What will you do for this? What will you do to get your hands on this after Brexit?
I mean, that raises a lot of questions. The first being, how much do you like cabbage, Andrew?
I've done that maybe for a cauliflower, but I'm
No,
not
but
sure.
I really like sucking off greengrocers.
Well, that's an upside anyway, I suppose.
You're lucky if you can find one these days.
Tell me about it, Hugh.
This is the most English conversation.
OK, sucking off chip shop owners.
Can someone tell Larry what a cabbage is?
He has so far threatened North Korea with total annihilation.
He said that total annihilation is. He's not taking that off the list of possible.
Well, he's looked at the various possibilities, hasn't he?
Total annihilation remains one of the possible options. Yeah.
Apparently, China said to Trump, "Don't turn the North Korean president from dictator to martyr," and Trump said, "We say tomato."
What is it does Kim Jong-un really believe that the US wants to invade North
Yes,
Korea?
he's been told this for years, yeah.
But I mean, it's so insane. That's like Piers Morgan having a birthday party and hiring bouncers. It's like, no one's coming, Piers.
Who's in the middle of all this? Who's
in the middle of all this?
China?
The whole of the rest of the world. South Korea.
It's Japan.
Japan! Japan, yeah.
Japanese, and they fired...
Because they fired it over Japan. In the same week that they did the underground test, they also fired a missile that landed over Japan. They tipped it over them.
Not on Japan.
Not on Japan, but
so really it's the Pacific Ocean that needs to work.
Yes, they fired a possible nuclear weapon into an ocean near Japan, which we as well know has animal life in it that reacts badly to having nuclear weapons fired at it. And I think we've seen enough documentary footage of giant...
Do you know this because you're the science man?
I'm the science man, and for God's sake, listen to me. There's a lizard out there, and it's going to attack me. Why can't you people listen to me? I know it sounds crazy.
We can't close the beaches. It's Labor Day weekend.
But my wife died in the remake. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Nigel, which category would you like?
I'll take sport.
OK, cool. Sport. The topic is sport. The answer is 12.8 million. What is the question?
Is it the average size of an Asian family?
Is it, now he's PM, how much would Boris Johnson fetch if he was sold to a stud farm?
Is it how much Dara O'Brien should be paid for hosting Mock the Week?
No, stop. I couldn't take that kind of pay cut. My children need wine.
Is it how many times when trying to buy alcohol have I had to say the phrase, would a 17-year-old have a nectar card?
Is it how many years has the last 3 years felt like?
Is it, if Amazon made 12.8 million, how much would they have left after they'd paid their tax?
What does Kim Jong-un's heart rate leap to if he senses biscuits?
Is it how many men on Twitter will see my Olga cockpit as an invitation?
Not just men.
Bring your own cock.
I always do.
It's funny when she brings a cock. Yes, I bring the place I brought my cock and didn't get a laugh at all. All right, what is the actual question?
Is it how much does Lewis Hamilton claim back in petrol receipts at the end of a Formula 1?
Is it how many people watch the rugby?
Absolutely right. Thank you very much, Julie. Very good. Yes, the question I was looking for was how many people watched England in the Rugby World Cup final, which they lost. This is the news that on Saturday, 12.8 million people tuned in to see South Africa defeat England in Yokohama. Did you watch the final? Yes?
Yeah, although, you know, it was difficult, wasn't it? It was England against South Africa, the Rainbow Nation. I haven't watched a lot of rugby. Where was Zippy and Bungle?
He could put the rugby ball in his mouth and zip it up and rub.
And then rub it.
Wait, sorry, South Africa won the Rugby World Cup?
Yes, they did.
According to Russian television, we won 61-0.
The thing is that it's just like watching the way they spoke after all the players spoke after it. It's so different. There's such a different level of how eloquent they are. The rugby players after it are just like, we were powered by the gust of 1,000 winds. We took heed. A nation behind us. We took heed and we battled. You ask a footballer, a footballer could have won the World Cup. And you go, how did you think that went? And they go, yeah, well, basically, we just put our circle in that rectangle more than the foreigners. Be like, eh?
OK, now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can make your way to the performance area, please. I cut ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear on a consumer programme.
I'm Adrian Childs, and I was shocked by the new Shrek film. I've not been paid for it, yet I seem to be starring in it.
Consumer scams are on the increase. If you'd like to find out how to stop them, send us your name and address, your date of birth, and your mother's maiden name.
I've just found out my jumper was made by Indian slave children. Can I just say they did a wonderful job?
Next, we speak to Barbara, who was devastated when she bought Daniel Bedingfield tickets that turned out to be genuine.
At first, the company seemed willing to compromise. Then we sent them a letter from Nicky Campbell, and they told us to fuck off.
I won't be on this show next week because I'm going off to Nigeria to pick up my lottery winnings.
Last week, we said that we were going to expose London's security scene. This week, we say, there's been a misunderstanding. Could I please have my kids back?
On closer inspection, Mrs. Wilkins, your hamster's jacuzzi would appear to be a food blender.
Hey, I'm Nicky Campbell, and I've been ploughing through the usual 5 sacks of hate mail to find this letter complaining about washing powder.
Today, as I stand before you penniless in the last clothes I own, we ask, is divorce biased in favour of the greedy bitch who left me?
We got there, the weather were crap, the food were crap, the locals were racist. What a bloody brilliant holiday!
Of the half-dozen condoms we tested, all but 2 burst in my stomach.
I'm Anne Robinson, and without plastic surgery, I'd look like E.T.'s balls.
OK, the next topic is things a sports commentator would never say.
Oh, they've called in the video referee. Which is better, Alien or Predator?
Oh, yes, Yes, and that's a beautiful uppercut and another one. But hey, the DJ is still not going to change the track for Stephen Gerrard.
Jimmy White holding up the cue there as he collapses at the till in odd bins.
Welcome to Robot Wars. Cruncher, ready. Stephen Hawkins, ready.
And England have won the Ashes.
It's the women's 100 metres final, and from left to right, it's no, no, yes, maybe, from behind. Definitely not.
The Queen smashes Camilla in the face and Prince Philip hits her with a hammer. This is what I call a Royal Rumble.
Venus Williams has brought something different to the ladies' game. Male genitalia.
Oh, he's great with a dead ball. When I had one, I had to sit down for a week.
And I think that massive widescreen close-up of the wedgie goes some way to explaining why we don't normally televise judo.
And that bloody smear is the reason you don't see a lot of streakers in Formula One.
Some people on the pitch, they think it's all over. It is now. The Chinese secret police have shot them.
Well, he's finally got his head down. His hands are firmly round the shaft. Which is why I'm handing over to John Infidel.
Overpaid knocks it on to overrated. Overrated on to possible rapist knocks it forward, closet gay, goal!
OK, at the end of that, the point go to Frankie, Hugh and Adam. Very much. Your category is politics, and the answer is 8%. What is the question?
How much of Abu Hamza will have to be removed so as they can get him through the Heathrow metal detector? What level of erection did I once try and have sex with?
Do you measure on that scale, or is it just on terms of...
Image of you going out on the pole, checking your wallet before you go out, condom, protractor.
How are the government planning to catch middle-class tax avoiders?
With a butterfly net and the van from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
It'll probably work better than the plan they have.
They're planning to catch them using lie detectors. Middle-class people taking lie detector tests. It's like an upmarket version of Jeremy Kyle. And I'd like to see that. Wouldn't you like to see that middle-class Jeremy Kyle? You know, my cleaner ran off to another family. My husband's using the wrong cutlery. You corked my Merlot!
The next topic is environment. Andy Parsons.
So, now, apparently, plastic bags are evil. Because apparently, they take 100 years to biodegrade. Now, that came as a bit of a shock to me, because often when you get a bag in a supermarket, they seem to biodegrade when you put anything heavy in them. That is why people double bag, isn't it? Because otherwise, it's like a crap magic trick, isn't it? They give you the bag, you put the bag on the counter, you put the stuff in the bag, you pull up the bag, and hey, presto, the stuff's still there on the bloody counter.
Well done, Andy Parsons.
People were saying, oh, well, it's stupid, you know, what's the point of any of our kids learning Arabic? But it could be quite useful, couldn't it? For instance, if you were sat on the tube and two people in front of you were speaking Arabic, it would make you a little more relaxed about what they had in their bag. Basically, these education proposals, you know, they've been upsetting teachers. And you don't want to upset a teacher, do you? Very easy to upset a teacher. All you've got to do to upset a teacher is go, oh, you've got long holidays. They don't like that, do they? And then, if you've Continue with that with, oh, and you finish at 3:30. Oh, they're livid, aren't they? Oh, I've got me marking.
And Frankie, the next topic is... It's terrorism. Andy's in like a shot.
Now, Tony Blair has once again tried to justify improving our nuclear weapons because he says one of the reasons is he's worried terrorists such as Osama bin Laden might get hold of them. Now, once again, I think this is scaremongering. We know Osama bin Laden hasn't got a nuclear weapon because we haven't seen it on his videos. We know he's got a rifle and a donkey. I don't think we've got to worry until he's ditched the rifle and we see his donkey strapped with a cruise missile.
Well done, Andy Parsons. Bad things to say at a job interview.
I'm really only here because I'm hoping to slip on a wet floor and then fall off a ladder.
Hey, I remember you from the dungeon. How you doing? It's me, Gimpy Terry.
I'm Gimpy Terry's mate.
He has been accused of verbally abusing a policeman at the gates to Downing Street who wouldn't let him through the main gates and forced him to go through the pedestrian gates. He swore at the policeman and apparently called him a pleb.
They may have changed the words he said, because the words they claim he says was, best you learn your effing place, you don't run this effing government, you're effing plebs. Right. He said he didn't say those words. Now, I can't read out what words he said, because he hasn't told us, so those are the only ones I can read out.
These are the people, though, who are charged with protecting him. You don't want to upset them.
No.
Oh, yes, I didn't catch Mr. Mitchell as he fell from the second floor of the building, because I didn't think he'd want me to touch him, given that I'm a pleb and everything. But as we took his body out of Downing Street, we took him through the main gate. It's what he would have wanted.
We start with a round called Headliners. Here's a picture of Prime Minister Gordon Brown with his immediate predecessor, Tony Blair. But what does BMCB stand for?
Is it Brown's Mental Complete Breakdown?
or is it just Britain's Mr. Charisma Bypass?
Is it Blundering Morons Crucifixion Begins?
Well, is it just bollocks, my career's buggered?
Sometimes that's all satire needs to be.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll call it ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. The first subject is unlikely things to hear on Comic Relief.
And we'd just like to thank the donation of 160,000 turkeys from a Mr. B. Matthews.
The next topic is the worst thing your new neighbour could say.
What day do the bins go out round here? My wife's body's starting to stink.
I hope my turkeys won't be keeping you awake. So, it was the Olympic parade last week. It was great seeing it live. Obviously, I had to keep a certain amount of a low profile in the crowd because I was throwing a sickie from work at the time. But it was great. 21 buses driving through London at a steady 2 miles an hour. So very like a normal day in London, really. There was an embarrassing moment, though, when one of the conductors rang the bell on the bus and then got the shit kicked out of him by the blind football team. And I realised, actually, that I could get into any sport during the Olympics. The only sport I couldn't actually get into, dressage. Watching a horse walk and then reverse. They call it horse ballet. I don't think anybody would go and see ballet if it was just some bloke walking a bit quicker, slowing down a bit, stopping, bowing, and then pissing off. And secondly, not many people go to ballet anyway because it's shit.
Thank you very much, Andy Parsons.
Is it the number of tweets that David Cameron's received to his new Twitter account that include the word tosspot? mean, in fact, what are the chances against getting a joke about Jim or Fricks?
Berlusconi will put you in the cabinet in Italy at the age of 19 if you're good enough. So you can see where it's coming from.
Harriet Harman's an incredible figure, isn't she? You know that Harriet Harman, when she first came to my attention, she wrote a book about the history of feminism, which she dedicated to her husband. Yeah, she's mistaking sexism with people hating her.
She's always saying stupid things, isn't she? She said she is Radio 2 to Gordon Brown's Radio 4. And you're thinking, well, she's not Radio 2. Radio 2 is the most popular radio station in this country. If she's anything, she's Isle of Wight FM on a Sunday morning at 3 o'clock in January when the transmission mast is broken. Andy Murray, a man who actually came along to our studios, didn't he?
Yes, indeed he did.
Came along after he'd lost Wimbledon.
Yep.
And then after we'd all taken the piss out of him, he went off and he won the Olympics and he won the US Open.
Yes.
I think all sports people who are struggling should come into the audience of the show. Let's get Paula Radcliffe, Philip Sidowu, Nick Clegg. It'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
I think it's kind of ironic that you'd ban smoking in pubs in London when it's kind of impossible to breathe outside a pub in London. Children are chasing buses down the street, like nipping at the tailpipe, hoping for chunks of charcoal fresh air, you know.
So says the man from LA.
You let people drive cars, right? I'm
Yes.
guessing a car puts out more smoke than maybe a cigarette?
It does, but that doesn't mean... Yeah.
You don't actually drive inside.
Yeah.
You know, don't drink and drive, especially in the pub.
OK, so war on terror. Who wants to go first? Andy?
Yes, the war on terror, the Americans have said, you know, they're worried that Iraq is their new Vietnam. Let's hope not. Otherwise, we're in for some shit movies in about 10 years' time.
Good man, Andy. Well done. Andy Parsons there. Your category is sport. The answer is 1 billion.
Is it how many wives would Henry VIII have had if he'd been on Tinder?
I shall have her. And I shall have her. Am I even flicking the right way out? I shall have her. OK. Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Okay.
no, yeah, Is it how many pounds in cash did the Queen hide under her bed when she'd seen that Jeremy Corbyn had been elected leader?
Her family security is at risk. Here's a picture of the new Labour leader, Jeremy Corbyn. So what's going on here?
Has he been sleeping in the bin on the right?
The idea it could be the oldest delivery boy in the world still hasn't figured out how to hold a pizza correctly.
Is he such a dedicated socialist that he refuses to look to the right, even though that's the direction he is in fact looking?
My topic is politics. Who wants to come in on that? Andy Parsons.
So, we've had the Lib Dems announce their immigration plan. What they'd like to do is they'd like to put immigrants into places in Britain which don't, at the moment, have many immigrants. Quite what those parts of Britain will feel about that policy. I grew up for quite a long time in Cornwall, and there they regarded anybody who came from Devon as an immigrant. We had one bloke on our street who was known as the Traveller because he'd once been by train up to London. And we have a new president for Europe, a man by the name of Herman Van Rompuy. Now, the Sun can't wait to get a headline going on this one. Rumpy Pumpy, Rumpy Numpty, Humpty Rumpy. They'll go for gold if he gets involved in an affair with a one-legged ugly dwarf. Rumpy Pumpy from Rumpy Numpty with Frumpy Stumpy Grumpy.
Well done, Andy Parsons. Your category is world news. The answer is 1/5. What's the question?
How much of a Boris Johnson speech is not, well, I say, yes?
OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear on a science documentary.
Hello, My name's Dara O'Brien. And to try and bring science to the masses, I'm going to appear in a programme with Stephen Hawking wearing a ridiculous hat.
Just enough with the, you know. I love that hat, by the way.
Hello, I'm Dara O'Brien. And I've got a massive head and a massive brain. But all I get to do in this bit is just press a little button.
The Olympics. Who wants to come in that? Any person?
Now, I don't know how you got on with getting tickets for the Olympics. There are still tickets for the Greco-Roman wrestling. Yeah, whoopee-doo. There aren't so many Romans in Britain anymore, are there? And those Greeks can't afford the tickets. And we will have forever our first GB football team. Yeah, it'll be the first time that Ryan Giggs, Ashley Cole and John Terry have got together since the last Miss World contest. But if you haven't got any tickets, go and see the Olympic road race cycling, right? It's free, yeah? But it's not the same as proper road cycling. Never in the Olympics do you see somebody having to go off into a ditch because there's a lorry turning left. Never do you see somebody go over the handlebars because some idiot in his car has opened the door without looking in his side mirror. Never do you see somebody fall off their bike because a car has screamed past and somebody has whined down the window and shouted, "Boo!" Although that may happen when the Olympics come to Hackney in 2012.
Thank you very much, Andy Parsons. What did David Cameron do recently that no other serving British Prime Minister has ever done?
Samantha Cameron.
Yeah. That's true. But he also went on Letterman in the States, didn't he?
He came out to loads of dry ice and they said it represented a London fog when we haven't had a London fog for over 100 years. That's the stereotype image that those Americans believe. What? The fat, dumb redneck. The closest we've currently got to a London fog is Boris Johnson at the moment. Either that or Amy Childs from The Only Way is Essex.
What Boris Johnson did say was that he got it wrong deliberately because he didn't want to seem like he had Latin coming out of every orifice. Now, that sounds creepy, doesn't it?
The thing about Boris Johnson, though, isn't it, is everybody thinks he's quintessentially English, but in fact he was born in America, named after a Russian, and looks like a Swedish person who's eaten another Swedish person.
And it's the economy. Any persons?
I suppose we should be grateful we're not in Greece. Things very bad there. There's rioting. Things so bad, the austerity measures, that they can't even afford to put petrol in their milk bottles to chuck them. Things are so bad they're having to put milk in their milk bottles. That's how bad things are. Oi, take that. Yeah. In 2 hours, your clothes are going to smell really bad. The European Central Bank, right, they have said that when it comes to Greece, they think it may be a bit like the Ebola virus, right? And they said we may have to cut off our leg to survive. Now, they may know a bit about finance. They know very little about the Ebola virus. It affects your entire body. You cut your leg off, you've still got the Ebola virus. You've just got one leg bloody less.
Thank you very much, Andy Parsons. Lines you wouldn't hear in a war film.
We've managed to crack the Germans' code. Turns out they were sending messages in German.
I'm afraid we can't afford goggles. So what we're going to have to do, we're all going to have to go like this.
Things you didn't hear at the Olympics.
I am the little girl from the opening ceremony. This is my real voice.
And it's gold for Ireland! And it...
Go on, go again, man, go again.
it.
And there's fuck all for Ireland!
No, I'm not letting you off for the last Ireland joke. You're not getting on again for the rest of the show. You are not doing another one for the rest of the show, all right? Discarded titles for the next Harry Potter book.
Harry Potter and the Mudblood Prince in a Nazi uniform. Harry Potter and the two other kids who can't act.
The first topic is global warming. Who wants to come in on that? Andy Parsons.
Sheryl Crow, she's gone into the debate. She wants us to save natural resources by apparently using only one sheet of toilet paper per visit. Now, let's face it, sometimes that's just not feasible, is it? But ever since I found that out, part of me's there thinking, each time I use more than one sheet, I've let Sheryl Crow down. Then part of me's thinking, oh, I'd never want to go out with Sheryl Crow. She's a toilet paper Nazi. And half the time, she's probably got a dirty arse.
Thank you very much, Andy Parsons. Here's a picture of former Prime Minister Tony Blair recently, but what does BGBC stand for?
Is it in fact Blair's guilt-free, blood-stained conscience?
That was a lovely laugh.
Is it in fact everything the British Army didn't have when we went to war? Bullets, guns, bombs, choppers. I would like to apologise for the rocking of this boat, but we are currently being humped by a whale. There appears to have been an incident in the swimming pool. If a Mr. Barrymore could contact the captain. He actually has ice baths in a wheelie bin. And I mean, that can't be enjoyable, can it? Particularly if he does it on a Tuesday and gets carried away by the cancer.
What a rugby commentator would never say.
Oh, and he skipped through the defence, and that's lucky, because if these South Sea Islanders catch you, they eat you.
And it's the coin toss, and Johnny Wilkinson has sprained his thumb. And here comes...
Hugh Dennis.
It was after I heard the buzzer that I realised there was one thing I hadn't heard at the Olympics, right, was fuck it.
Now we play a round called It's Getting Hot in Here, so take out all your jokes. This game involved Tiff and Ramesh, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. The first subject is... magazines. Who wants to come in on that?
OK.
Tiff.
As a woman, most of your life is designed to make you feel a little bit shit. And magazines are responsible for that. You know, magazines like OK, which I look at on the shelves and think, when are they going to stop putting people on the front of that who are quite clearly not OK? Magazines will recommend that you have plastic surgery. That seems to be everywhere. Too much plastic surgery these days. I think that's why they've invented emoticons. Right, they're for women who've had too much plastic surgery, so you can just hold up an iPad and say, I feel happy, I feel sad, I feel like a smiley poo with eyes. But I think the worst thing that magazines do is they perpetuate trends, really bad trends, right? I don't know how you guys feel about vajazzling. But I genuinely believe it is a plot by religious groups to get gay men interested in vaginas. By making them look like disco balls. I told my mum about the vajazzling, right? I said, Mum, they do this thing now where they put Diamante on your downstairs. And my mum just went, vajazzling? In my day, you were lucky if you gave it a wash.
Thank you very much, Jeff. OK, that leaves us with Ramesh. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is parenting.
I'm a parent. You know, we had our first child, and our first child is such a lovely kid. You know, he always says please and thank you. He's such a wonderful, wonderful little boy. I said to my wife, do you know what? I think we might have mastered parenting. I think it's just about setting clear boundaries and being consistent. The second one, feral. Right. Like, I love him, but what a prick this kid is. Like, I love him, but what an unacceptable human being. Like, I love him, but I don't like him. You know, that's... Like, I'm going to have to say to him one day, you're a mistake. And not like in the way that the contraception went wrong, like the decision to have you was a mistake. Sometimes I want him to get hurt. There you go, I said it. Now, listen. I don't mean really hurt. I just mean a little bit. You know, because he doesn't listen, this kid. When I say to him, don't do that, dude, because if you do that, you're going to get hurt. And then he does it, and he doesn't get hurt. That pisses me off, right? Because that is life telling him that I'm full of shit. This kid's running with scissors with no consequences. Do you know what I mean?
Very good. Again, the points go to Tips Everton. Come on back, both of you.